As the giant lizard emerged, Urgobleth threatened the harpies and minotaurs who had been standing by as spectators. He glared in their direction and promised to kill anyone who didn't help kill us. The nature spirit, the mother of venom, threw out a blue webbing to slow our enemies in an attempt to assist us in what felt like a never-ending fight. Urgobleth leaned forward, his fleshy rolls jiggling with every movement. He lowered his shout and spoke in a threatening tone, giving us one last chance to join him or to suffer the consequences of his wrath. Mother, I always tell you how I admire Victor's humility and growth as he's finding his way back to the Eight Rings. What I may not have always mentioned is his penchant for insulting our foes. He spat out a rather clever retort and was quickly stunned by Urgobleth's magic. He couldn't move or speak. We were in real trouble now that Urgobleth was stepping into the fight. The Froghemoth had just been a warm-up. More of Urgobleth's bullywug servants came marching into the amphitheater, and the harpies started circling overhead. My heart began to beat a bit quicker, and a feeling of panic and dread set in. I looked at Victor, his mouth frozen open, unable to move. With Victor out of commission, it was down to the three of us to somehow make it out alive, Sere, Bolt, and myself. Naturally, I have great faith in my friends, but it was clear the scales had been tipped out of our favor, and I knew we were doomed. Suddenly, I heard Ezra's voice. He arrived just in time and out of nowhere, sending arrows flying at Urgobleth. He shouted at Bolt to set down the raven skull Lucia had given to him. Sere and I locked eyes and nodded. Urgobleth was going down. Sere raced forward, and I followed behind. She swung her glaive through the air and cut deep into Urgobleth's green, warty flesh. He waved his hand and sent magical purple fire to the wound. We watched in dismay as his magic virtually erased any sign of harm Craggy had caused. I said a silent prayer under my breath, and I plunged my longsword into Urgobleth's gut, and, with the power of my lady, struck true. A dazzling smile erupted on Sere's face, and I turned to hide the blush that spread across my cheeks. I don't often get embarrassed, but something about her look made me suddenly feel all fuzzy inside. A deafening roar erupted from Urgobleth's pet. I whipped around and jumped out of the way just in time as the scaly beast lunged at me with his gaping jaws. I stumbled, falling to my knees, and felt as if 20 of Victor's knives had been thrust into my body as the beast snapped at me again, grasping me with its horrible mouth. Its hot breath smelled of rotting meat, and its saliva burned as it poured into the bleeding wounds where its teeth had pierced my flesh. The pain was so intense, I must have fainted. The next thing I remember was hearing a deep thrum that reverberated through my body. I woke, still in the beast's mouth. My eyes rolled in my head, and I couldn't feel my arms or legs. I managed to turn my head to the side and used all of my strength to force my eyes to focus on the battlefield before me. Ezra's sister, Lucia, and a group of elves in mismatched armor were standing on the dais, bows raised, sending a volley of arrows at the gnolls. Beyond the dais, Urgobleth suddenly appeared. I thought perhaps I was delirious with pain, but remembered that Urgobleth is a skilled and powerful sorcerer, and to move from one place to another would be easy for him. Ezra shot several arrows at Urgobleth, but he grinned a wicked smile as he once again waved his hand and sent a swell of magic fire to the wounds, instantly healing himself. Again, my vision blurred as the monster clenched its jaw a bit tighter on my body. I forced myself to focus and tried to steel my mind against the pain. I reminded myself that the trio would provide. Standing in the middle of the elves on the dais was an elven priest who seemed to be studying me. My eyes narrowed and I watched him as he seemed to quietly chant some prayer. He waved his hands and I felt the most wonderful and strange sensation of my own wounds healing themselves. It was as if I'd never been hurt at all. Now that I had my full faculties about me, I tried to get a better lay of the land, all while clenched in the jaws of the beast. Victor shook his head and appeared to come out of the stunned state he had been in. One of the bullywugs lunged forward, cutting him. He took a few steps back and let out an audible scoff as the queen of the harpies flew to him, attempting to charm him. It's true, Mother. Even in the heart of battle, the women can't keep their hands off of Victor. Sari reached into her bag and pulled out a small vial. She quickly uncorked it and then drank the entire contents in one gulp. Spectral hair ears sprouted from her head, and she began running as fast as lightning. The creature holding me with its mouth dropped me in a puddle of spit as it tried to bite Sari, but she was much too fast, and it ended up biting the ground where she had stood, chewing on a mouthful of rocks. As Sari ran, she left a beautiful streak of ethereal blue magical essence in her wake. In a blink, she was before Urgelblath. She thrust Craggy forward, and the choir erupted in a swell of harmony as she pierced Urgelblath through the heart. With the incredible force of her glaive paired with her speed, Urgelblath's body burst into a million little pieces, like pollen in the wind. The lizard was choking out the rocks as I used all my might to swing at its side. A large, clean wound opened, and a wave of blood spilled to the ground. I shouted at Urgelblath's underlings to put down their weapons. Now that their leader was dead, it was only a matter of time before they would be as well, if they continued to fight. The Minotaurs must have had the same thought. They quickly dropped their weapons and walked away from the battle. The bullywugs were not as smart and continued to attack us. The lizard monster tried to trap me in its jaws again, but Bolt, anticipating the attack, was at my side, and their all-steel shield expanded, protecting us both from the beast. Bolt quickly reared back their arm and punched the lizard with their gauntleted hand. I heard a crunch from the lizard, and I thought I heard a little giggle of delight from Bolt. They're quite serious most of the time, but even the idea of them celebrating themselves bolstered my spirits and resolve to slay the beast. One of the harpies dove at Ezra, raking her claws across his back, then rolled through the air at me. I ducked out of the way and turned my attention back to the lizard. The elves began focusing their fire at the monster, and it was quickly filled with arrows, like your sewing pincushion at home. Victor's knives began whirling around him. As he denied the Harpy Queen's advances, she began slashing at him with her sharp claws. The other harpies followed suit, and Victor was soon surrounded. He mostly effortlessly danced out of reach, but did get caught in their claws a few times. Sari was doing what Sari does best. She raced her way across the battlefield, killing every foe in her path with the help of Craggy. Any that dared attack her were dead within seconds. The choir hummed with every thrust and swing of her glaive. The bodies of gnolls and bullywugs began to litter the amphitheater. The lizard tried biting me again, but by then I had learned how to avoid its bite and rolled out of the way. It roared at us and whipped at Bolt with its tail. Bolt yelled out their own kind of roar and slammed both of their fists into the monster's head. Its entire body shook as it tensed up, then went limp and died. Ezra turned his attention to the harpies surrounding Victor and shot and killed the one closest to him. He stood tall on the dais and declared himself the catalyst of change. He was so confident and sure of himself, and even if he didn't have his golden billowing hair, his certainty made him appear spectacularly handsome. He was glowing with determination and grit. Victor summoned a magical cloud of swirling daggers in the space where the harpies were, then ran to join me and Bolt. His clothes were soaked with his own blood. I put a hand on his shoulder and magically healed some of his wounds. The Harpy Queen chased after Victor. I guess some women just can't take no for an answer. Violence hadn't seemed to work with the harpies, so Bolt turned to words. They convinced the Harpy Queen to stop fighting. She reluctantly agreed and called to her minions to halt their attack. Finally, there was but one bullywug left. He could see he was outnumbered, and it was a lost cause, but he continued to attack. Perhaps it was out of desperation, or maybe it was honor. Regardless, it was Sari who delivered the final blow, killing the bullywug and ending the fight. I watched Ezra stride up to Urgelblath's throne, stepping over the bodies of our enemies as he made his way. He stretched out on the throne, throwing one leg over the arm. Lucia followed Ezra, and we were all soon gathered around the stone throne. I was so relieved to see Ezra. I never thought that he was actually in any sort of grave danger. He was with family, after all. That being said, I don't have any siblings myself, so that family dynamic is a bit of a riddle to me. Regardless, it was good to have all of the Wayward Watch together once again. At first glance, Ezra and Lucia look nothing alike. The half-orc in Ezra is quite pronounced, and Lucia appears to have mostly elven features. She stood beside Ezra discussing treasure, and I studied their faces more carefully. Almost simultaneously, they both made an annoyed grimace at a comment someone made, and that's when I knew, without a doubt, that they are truly siblings. We asked Lucia where she had taken Ezra. They both explained she had taken him underground to see his mother. The use of time magic has taken its toll, and her mind is starting to fade. She didn't even recognize Ezra, her own son. But the tribe of the Withered Bow, Lucia's people, believe Ezra truly is the catalyst of change that they've been seeking. The elves used to live rather happily in the Ungolin marshlands. Unfortunately, Urgoblath and his malevolence forced them into hiding underground. Ezra's mother begged the Infinite Sight for help, but they turned on her and are now her people's sworn enemy. Sari suggested that perhaps it is time for the elves to rule the Winter Court. Now that Urgoblath has been defeated, it seems like a natural fit. We heard a commotion and a familiar voice. Kes and a hug scrambled into the amphitheater. Apparently, their airship had been taken by harpies as they tried to escape the shifting dunes by detouring into the marshlands. It is unfortunate for them, but quite convenient for us, as we'll need help getting to our next destination. I found Mirana sitting on the amphitheater steps, looking out over the bodies of the fallen. I tried to apologize, but she wouldn't let me. She told me how grateful she was to be out from under Urgoblath's power. The Winter Court needs someone like her to help rebuild. Lucia and Ezra spoke quietly with one another as we prepared to leave. They hugged, and Lucia left. As she did, a beautiful great horned owl silently floated down from the sky, landing on Ezra's shoulder. The owl's name is Ixburn and belonged to Ezra's mother. Darian will be quite pleased to have another animal companion join us. Our next destination is the Broken Expanse. The trio wants me to go there. I cannot say why, but I know I must obey their wishes. You know, Mother, if magic hadn't found me, if I hadn't been forced to flee our home in Rowan, the trio might not have taken me in as their own. And as much as I desperately miss you and Father and our home, I think my place is right where I am. My calling in this life, if you want to call it that, is to lead the Wayward Watch with the divine guidance of my ladies. Yes, we've made many enemies, and I am certain we will make more. And yes, I miss living in our sheltered community where I didn't have to think about or meet vile and depraved men who use the innocent for their own selfish gain. But the Wayward Watch is a mighty force to be reckoned with. The 5 of us together can do great things. And Mother, when we meet again, I promise you, you will be proud to call me yours. Love, Eve.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 26 of Tales of Aneria. Woo-hoo. Oh boy, it's been a long road getting from there to here, but we are finally here, past the Ungolin marshlands. We're on our way to what I think is going to be my favorite section. We'll see. I'm very excited. Nice. But first, I think we have just a quick announcement.
Just join our Discord. We've been having people join and having lots of fun conversations over there. And also check out the Reddit as well if you like that over Discord.
Yeah.
Hope to see you there.
We actually
link in the description below.
Moderating the Reddit.
Yeah.
We forgot that we have to approve
Yeah,
posts.
apparently you got to approve posts as a...
Well, yeah. There's like 3 or 4 episodes that just got posted all at the same time on the Reddit page because neither Scott or I knew we had to approve.
Yeah, log in and I'm like, yeah. Approve. Oops.
But everybody's heard the recap. Thank you, Torrey, as always. And we're going to go ahead and jump right in with everybody climbing aboard the greatest treasure, up the rickety ladder, and onto what is... It's the greatest treasure that you know, but it looks like it's been ransacked. Hug is currently like tipping boxes back over that were like spilled out and like picking up all the stuff. He's got like a broom with half of the bristles missing, and he's trying to like sweep up some hay or straw.
They took half of the bristles?
They took half of
those monsters.
Yep.
But like one side, right? Not sparse, like one side over.
Actually, you're pretty sure you can spot the bristles tying together some of the railings, just like little ties there. So, yep.
What happened, Kiss?
No, we was on our way to a border town. Yes, and it requires crossing through the marshlands, and I thought it'd be safe, Hug with me, faster ship thanks to Bolt. Yes, but unfortunately, harpies got us, and they took the ship, and they said they were giving it away to someone, which is not good, but it's still here. So
Fortunately for you, you didn't have many shinies.
Yes, of course. Excuse me a moment. Yes. And he runs off into the little cabin, and you hear the telltale sounds of like floorboards like being pried up, and then after a moment you hear, yes, no shinies here. If there's one thing that guesses, it's terrible at deception. So. But Hug says, find a spot, we're gonna take off and then sleep on the way.
That sounds lovely.
I know.
Wait, where are we headed again?
And he turns back to Cascas and Cascas, where you need to go?
Where was your border town? What direction?
Northwest.
Seems as good a direction as any.
Okay.
Did you want to follow through on that mandate from the trio about checking out the broken expanse?
Yes, if it's all right with you all.
We're close. Of course, I am quite anxious to go check out that lead on the oh boy. Come on, brain.
The Alien Crawl.
The other one.
The Infinite Sight.
Yep.
That town in
Morris Bend.
Yes, thank you.
Are you sure you
That's
wouldn't
in
get
the
there?
one in the Cragath Mountains, right?
Right.
Yep.
Are you sure you wouldn't get there faster on foot? You mean you're like a sonic boom at this point, right?
A sonic boom.
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
at
but
some
no,
point
the
you're
potion wore off.
Oh, I thought
In
you
fact,
were
probably as you guys were like
That's why you're being
to the
kind of
treasure
tired,
room.
like adrenaline rush. Like
Yeah,
you're
I'm like,
Yeah,
I could use
Sarah just
sleep.
like slumped against the wall for like 6 seconds, just like dazed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are here, and we probably ought to see what the trio was so interested in.
I'm also fascinated to visit the Broken Isles, Broken Expanse.
Why is that?
I've just never been. I've heard about it a little bit here and there.
Were there any leads from your visions or anyone that you spoke to in the court?
Let's see. I do not believe so.
Have we?
There was actually a lead. You did have somebody talk about the Broken Expanse while you were talking to them in court.
Yeah.
Bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do we even know if the Broken Expanse is a real place? Has anybody actually seen it?
I don't know.
Kiss?
Oh no, I would never go past the breach. That's bad. That's bad space.
Yeah. There was that trio in the castle on Golan.
Yeah, the mercenaries.
They talked about a visitor from the north, or one of them was a visitor from Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ezra, because it has been a little bit, you also do remember that the other ship that took off when you arrived was heading that direction.
That's right. There was a ship when I was crawling up the mountainside.
It seems
It was flying that way.
It seems fate would want us to go that way. Fate's a 4-letter word, just like Cory.
Also known as the DM.
giant like neon sign that says "Go here."
All right.
We look around the horizon, like,
Northwest.
no.
Well, if you're heading to the Broken Expanse to search for it, Border Town is last place for supplies, so good place to go.
Well,
Oh, is Heavy Arcanum Town? Everyone okay?
I don't believe we're at odds with the Arcanum these days.
I mean, we don't like them necessarily, but
Plus, we've got our handy-dandy badge that we can flash.
That's right.
The Crestor house emblem.
right.
the
I
Crester
don't know,
Crest.
last time I flashed man, it got me in trouble, but whatever.
You should probably make sure you hide away that old steel.
I've got it.
Got it.
I will.
Because I know that is one thing that they have been trying to sniff out.
Do you think we can put it in a barrel and make more of that fancy magic water?
I suppose we
Oh,
could
chaos.
if a certain someone named Sari wanted to try it out.
Start handing out to all the Arcanum.
Would you like to lick the old still? See if it changes.
Right now, I just want to sleep.
Agreed.
And she just like falls down on the deck.
Hug starts stringing up hammocks after you fall asleep. He doesn't make any move to actually like pick you up.
I just turn Craggy into a pillow. Just like,
Says a thousand voices.
Does it like sing in your ear, sing a lullaby
Yeah,
so you can go sleep?
a cacophony of
But
lullabies.
the pillow has a big mouth. Lullaby.
Please stop using us this way.
We're a legendary artifact.
Okay. So the greatest treasure gives out a little bit of a puff of smoke that comes from everywhere, like through the cracks in the deck, all of that. And then it starts taking off and just starts... again, it's a little bit smoother ride ever since Bolt was able to help Cass rewire it. But it's still... I mean, it's still the greatest treasure. It's still your version of the Millennium Falcon, I guess.
What a hunk of junk.
And yeah, but if there's anything that anybody wants to do or talk about before you get to sleep, you can, or you can just head on to bed.
I guess I will.
I'm out.
I'll keep watch for any more harpies. Hopefully we're on their good side.
I desperately want to take a very long rest.
All right, so everybody falls asleep. It's a nice, pleasant night for most. And the marshland air is colder than typical for Aneria. This is probably the coldest area in all of Aneria, except for maybe high in the Malagoth Mountains or the Kragath. In fact, actually, I think Kragath is pretty warm because it is a volcanic range. Eve dreams. And in that dream, she's once again flying on silent wings, heading directly through the rest of the marshlands, directly towards what is widely known as the Breach, which is this big bank of fog that blocks where everybody believes the Broken Expanse is. And you fly through it, and you see dozens of islands of all shapes and sizes. Some of them have buildings on them. Some of them have caves. You see even little hints of life floating through the clouds, sky rays, maybe a sky shark or two, that sort of thing. And you just kind of glide past all of it until you arrive at a large, broken temple. And you can tell that this is a place that used to be of reverence and is now fallen into decay. And you see the temple, and you fly through the windows, and you go to the main chamber on the very top level, and you see a figure kind of draped in black shadow, just kind of watching as you enter. And they reach out a hand, and it's kind of this large blue hand, far larger than you are when you're human, whatever you are right now, notwithstanding. And as that blue hand reaches out, you can also see the faint signs of purple undergrowth under the skin of this hand. It's kind of bulging across, and it's just kind of winding its way up the hand, and you hear this voice that sounds like just like a tornado of wind say, "Hurry!" And then you snap awake.
Whoa.
And
Is
it's still
it,
about the middle of the night.
Like, is it a masculine voice? Or?
It is a masculine voice, yes.
Okay.
And it is still the middle of the night, but it definitely does cause you to wake with a start.
Since I'm in sentry mode, I kind of just turn and Eve, are you all right?
I just had a dream. I'm not sure if it was a bad dream, but it didn't feel very nice. I have just a strange feeling. I was flying in my dream through the sky, and I went through the breach, which is like a wall of fog that separates the civilized parts of Aneria from this broken expanse. There were islands everywhere. Finally, I came upon a dilapidated temple, and I flew into the main chamber, and up to the top I found a figure draped in black shadows, and he reached out a blue hand, and beneath the skin was purple undergrowth, and he told me to hurry.
Do you think it was a message from the trio? Perhaps?
Perhaps, it's hard to say. They did lead me to this point. I have no idea who that man would be. I'll have to think upon it.
Now, sidebar, did Seredan tell us about the experience in Craggy, or did we all got pulled? We were all there.
Pulled in there.
Yeah.
So we all saw the black cloaked
Yes.
figure.
Mhm. Different. Very different.
Okay, that's
This was more
Yeah.
like somebody
so.
was just
I
in
would
shadows.
have asked that. Did it seem like the same figure as the one that?
Aventhi?
No, it seemed different.
That's one name that I can
Yay! Can't remember your own name, but Aventhi? Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Would Eve have felt, like, scared in that dream?
The sight of the arm wouldn't have scared you. The sight of the cloaked figure was more of just like it was just a figure.
Yeah.
But seeing that kind of like bulging undergrowth of something else, that's definitely probably what snapped you out of the dream, was that horrifying.
Yeah, that's big creepy.
Did
Cory's
this?
been trying to creep me out lately. Keeps sending me all these scary things.
Did this figure have any kind of malevolence to it? Did it seem, I guess, evil, or possibly like had evil intentions?
No. I don't believe so. It was this undergrowth under this blue skin that was upsetting to me. And I think what woke me up.
Can I roll some kind of like history check to see if I've heard of anything similar affecting, or maybe even like Arcana, to see if I've heard of like some kind of condition at all?
Yeah, you can roll either of those.
They're both exactly the same, plus 7, so that would be 26. Let's do Arcana. See if I recognize any kind of like malady or anything that would be magic in nature, or does it sound familiar?
There are magical maladies. It sounds from the description. In fact, what's your medicine actually?
0.
0?
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound too arcane in nature, but you do know that there are like parasitic things that kind of fit that same description.
Okay. Well, obviously I'm not sure, but perhaps it could be some kind of a maybe a disease or an infection of sorts. I know that the unfortunate people at Big Town had some kind of like dark green stuff growing up, on their faces and arms and in that medical tent. But that's not exactly the same, but it could be something similar.
Well, it could have just been a bad dream, but something tells me it was more than that.
I would defer to you on that decision. I have had a total of four dreams in my entire life, so I will trust you. I will trust your judgment on that.
Well,
try to get some rest. Last Kes told me we were still quite a ways away.
And if I've had long enough time to take a long rest, I will summon Darian back.
Not quite yet. So you're going to have to spend the night shivering in the cold without Darian, unfortunately.
Sad.
Yeah, it is very sad.
Okay.
But everybody can go ahead and take a long rest after that.
As soon as they settle in, you'll just hear Victor laying over on the side. Good night. You can't really tell if he's awake or not.
It might just be like a reaction.
Yeah, it could just be like
just involuntary.
sleep talking.
Are you sure he doesn't say, "Oh, Lyra"?
Confident.
It's confidence. Okay. So the greatest treasure finds its way out of the marshland after 2 days of travel, coming upon a surprisingly green field of swaying grass that stretches far to the north and south. You aren't sure how far it really stretches west, though, as your vision stops abruptly after a dozen or so miles by a bank of massive fog that blocks your view for whatever lies beyond. This massive wall seems to stretch on and on, but staring at it for too long causes a dull pain to creep into your mind and forces you to look away. About halfway to the fog bank is a small collection of buildings that might barely be called a village or a town. 3 buildings lie on either side of a well-worn street, and a dozen or so small wooden houses are scattered within a mile of this main square. It's sort of like you would expect in a western town, right? Like that main thoroughfare, and you've got the buildings with the walkways on either side. Yep. At one end of the square is the most prominent building, a chiseled white stone, with chiseled white stone forming a single level and a marble watchtower jutting from its center. So basically, it looks like an old mission or like an old barracks, that sort of thing.
The Alamo.
Yeah, sort of like the Alamo.
Remember the Alamo.
A sphere of golden metal floats atop the tower, a beam of light streaking from it into the fog bank, visible even this late in the afternoon. Finally, you notice
a lighthouse style
yeah,
beam almost. Okay.
And finally, you notice the large banner displaying the golden 3-pointed crown and brilliant orb of the Arcanum fluttering against the side of the tower itself.
I want to ask the choir.
Okay.
When I'm looking at into the fog, just kind of. Craggy, what is this? What am I looking at?
Go ahead and give me a religion check. Let's see.
I always fail on all of mine.
Yeah.
Let's see how you do.
I don't have a great religion score, but we'll see.
You guys are new to this religion thing.
15.
It's true.
It's hard to say. The choir kind of reverberates in your ears. But answers lie within.
Okay.
Now, does that come from looking at the tower?
In the fog.
The fog itself. Yeah, okay, cool. The airship kind of glides around to the... So you guys are heading basically west at this point. So the town is... The watchtower and the barracks is the westernmost part of this little thoroughfare. And you guys head just to the south of the barracks, where you see this great field that has a few airships in it that are either being repaired or being restocked, that sort of thing. They are all Arcanum airships. You can tell the basic skiffs that they use here. It's a pretty standard make for the airship. And Keskas comes rattling down into that field. And he says, "Welcome to Border Town." is nice place. It's small, but it is very nice. Yes, yes. Well,
Kes, how long will you be staying?
I will be staying a few days before heading back. Not really sure where to go next. Lost all cargo. Need to go find more.
So, Eve, what does the trio want us to do? Just walk out that way and see if we fall off?
So,
the
well,
Craggy
Craggy says that the answers lie within.
Are we going to find a pilot who would?
Well,
Yeah,
Flies
in my
out
dreams, I've always been flying through the air.
if
Can't imagine
What's
any
the
other way.
lower, like the edge? This would basically be like the edge of the world.
Yeah, like
Nobody
everywhere
goes
else
there.
that kind of like you end up on the other side. That's not here. Like there is, as far as everybody is concerned, you go into the fog and nobody comes back out. There's rumors that it is like just a floating set of islands and there's just air beneath it, but nobody really like knows. Like all of the stories are
like
secondhand or
I want to see what's in there. What if I tied a rope around my waist and you held onto it?
This thing again with the rope?
Just
gonna be holding it.
It worked last time.
call back to episode
Yes.
2, 3.
Entering the
I seem to remember
sanctum.
going in last time, and you guys were supposed to wait, and nobody waited, and it was just. We'll go for it.
For science.
Well, if
I think we should do it
For science. I agree.
That's like the scene in Return of the King where it's like for Frodo. And you go rushing in.
For science!
if the islands are floating, as some of the stories tell, or if they're even just regular islands, having an airship would probably be a good bet. I think
who are
if-
we going to get to fly through that? Kes won't even go through, and he does basically anything we
Actually,
ask.
that's a good question. Kes, have you ever considered flying into the fog?
And he like looks from you to the fog, you, and goes, "Never considered before. No."
I think you're a closet adventurer. I think you'd quite like it, Kes.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Here's my
Yeah,
persuasion.
not bad.
Jiggle, jiggle.
Plus
Bag full of
7,
money.
23.
23.
Kes is known to adventure from time to time. Yes. He's very dangerous. You protect.
Of course.
Always.
What
Also-
could possibly go wrong?
Also,
Wink.
we would compensate you financially. I'm sure there are some parts or some more cargo you'd like to purchase.
Oh, yes. But concerned about Hug, and he like looks over at Hug, and Hug is just kind of like picking his nose right now, like just looking up at the sky.
Does the whole like,
Yeah. And he puts it in the other nostril.
oh,
He is
now they're even.
And Hug turns and he
Hug.
goes,
We need to find a new ship.
This one's got character, man. 2 of them, in fact.
2 characters. But if Hug is okay with flying off into danger, I guess Kes could be persuaded. And Hug just kind of like looks and just shrugs, like, okay, whatever. And he goes, oh, well, give me 2 days to prepare a ship and get supplies, and then we go die. Yes.
No, we will survive.
Yes.
I don't think you can just say that like that. You don't know, really. None of us really know. We could die anytime.
Well,
Honestly.
we're all going.
We must-
going
we
to
must
die
have hope.
eventually.
I could be dead already, I don't know.
Very
This-
fatalistic all
you
of a
do
sudden,
look
everyone.
This all could be the
Ghost.
afterlife.
Wait,
It's terrible.
I look pale.
Let's go check in with the Arcanum.
All right.
Kes, and I hand
Alright.
him a small bag full of gold. I'm
Okay.
going to give him 50 gold.
50 gold.
This is to help do whatever you need to get the ship ready.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
And then the rest is yours.
And he says, good luck with the Arcanum. And he kind of stumbles off the ship. Not stumbles off, but...
Have you been drunk this whole time?
That's why the ship's so terrible.
That's why he's so happy.
As he's like walking away, there's like a human male with. Or actually, I think what fixes it? Tiefling? Gravel. Hang on. Yeah, he's a tiefling. There's a tiefling walking up and kind of. He looks like he's got your standard kind of artificer, belts and buckles and everything, and And they just start quietly talking to one another. So you guys are free to roam about the town and go. You said you wanted to go to the Archon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might as
All
well.
right, might as well.
You just gotta stand outside, leaning up against the wall and be like, I hear someone's been using chaos magic.
I'm curious about this
No, you.
beam that they're
Lighthouse.
shooting into the fog, as almost as though to either try to penetrate it or perhaps be a warning or some sort of signal for someone that they're
Maybe they're
Could
waiting
also
for.
be holding it back.
Or they're looking for someone. Or something. There's a monster. A sky monster. That'd be my guess.
Probably
Dragons.
just a lie.
There's
A
no such
dragon.
thing
We saw
as dragons.
the tail. And you saw the wing. Or I saw the wing and you saw one of them.
I choose not to believe that.
I do as well. I didn't
Ignorance is bliss.
If you can believe that Victor can actually stand in a fight and not die, then you can believe in
And
dragons.
attract women.
see it. What? Hold on. What is this?
What does that mean?
What does this have to do with anything?
I mean, it really is interesting. They can't even see your eyes.
Yeah, how do they know what your soul's like? Because they can't see into that window.
His throat. They look down his throat and deep into his stomach, like a bottomless pit.
You know what's funny? I was
Just
gonna
like his
just go there.
You two are more alike than you think.
It's very.
What color are your eyes, Victor?
Amber.
Like Lyra's.
Prove it. Just kidding. Make you do that.
I don't think he can.
It takes off the top layer.
Ugh, curses. So you guys arrive at a 10-foot tall white stone wall that surrounds a courtyard and several smaller buildings. You can kind of see the tops of them, made of the same material. A set of iron-banded wooden gates sits heavily at the front entrance, and a pair of Arcanum soldiers stand at attention outside. And they're wearing that standard kind of blue and silver gear. It's almost like, I guess the easiest way to describe it is almost like they have like an aviator hat on, but it's made out of metal, and they've got the goggles and kind of a face covering. And they just watch you approach, and one of them steps forward and goes, good afternoon, you're new in town, yes?
What gave it away?
It's a small town.
Nice to meet you. My name is Eve. We are the Wayward Watch.
Nice to meet you, Eve, and the Wayward Watch. I am Officer...
Krupke, please.
Branderwine. I am Officer Branderwine.
We all start punching him in the face. It's a reaction.
He does say no relation.
Interesting. We'll be here for just a few days. We're planning on heading into the fog.
Into the quarantine zone.
I mean, we've been thinking about it. We weren't really...
What's it quarantined for?
Nobody goes in there. Arcanum orders.
Why is that?
It's dangerous. People just go in and die. Like,
Well, what's
we
with
don't
the,
want anything coming
what's
back.
with the lighthouse thing? It's almost as though you're expecting someone to come out of it.
We're actually trying to keep something from coming out of it. There's a lot of dangerous creatures in the breach.
Told you, sky
What?
monsters.
Like what?
Different sorts of extraplanar aberrations, that sort of thing.
So if you do go out into the quarantine zone, what is the punishment? So if you never come
Imprisonment.
back,
And
how are you gonna imprison me if I don't come back?
that's why we try and keep people from going in before.
Oh, I see. It's
Yeah.
preventive. It's
Mhm.
preventive.
This
Yes.
is like the scene in Guardians of the Galaxy. Say I wanted something.
This is all hypothetical,
From someone.
of course.
Of course. Anybody who would want special permission, hypothetically speaking, of course, would want to go and speak with the champion.
So where's the champion now?
She, I believe, is in her office. If you'd like, I can take you there.
She's in the fog.
Is that the
Let's do it.
person that's stationed from place to place?
So as far
Trying to
as as a reminder on the Arcanum structure, you've got the officers, right? The different soldiers. And then above them you have Justicars, which usually handle like the smaller towns, that sort of thing.
They're the sheriffs.
But if something is high importance, they will send in a champion, which runs the Justicars and basically the whole caboodle, that sort of thing.
First time we've ever met a champion.
We're working our way up.
How does one get a meeting with the champion?
I mean, I can see if she's available if you'd like. If you don't mind just waiting here a moment.
Absolutely.
Here's the
A
problem.
town like this, I can't imagine she's busy.
And Officer Brandywine goes off. Goes into.
I forgot his name was Brandywine.
into the building.
Does there, like, when he leaves, this you said was just standing, or is he at a guardhouse type situation?
They were just standing outside the front
Just
gates.
standing outside.
Yep.
Okay. So there's not like anything we can rifle through.
No. And the other guard is still there. He's just kind of.
Can we rifle through the other guard?
Okay, that's called assault.
So, I just turn to the other guard and I say, how long have you been stationed here? What's the news?
Oh, I've been stationed here for about 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, most people who end up coming out here end up staying for their lives. We try and settle down in the town around here. In fact, most people that you meet in the town are related to the Arcanum in some way.
I see.
No.
So,
Not a lot of.
is there inbreeding here?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Not a lot of lady
Or you-
options.
There's a lot of fresh blood that comes in
Oh, okay. That'd
to
be a
replace the
little
old
weird,
blood.
if you ask me.
Is it a very safe town? Because, I mean, you said that there are monsters, well, your partner said there are monsters that
Yeah,
come out of the fog.
the beacons keep them kind of. They don't actually come out of the fog because of the beacons. They did in the early days, but we managed to push them back. And every now and then we'll get word that something's going on towards the edge of the breach, and we'll just run in there, do a quick scouting around. I mean, there's towers up and down the breach itself, kind of defending it as well. This is just where the base of operations is.
Is there a place in town where one might procure, what's the name of the magic company? The
Wellspring.
Wellspring. Is there a is there a Wellspring items
Oh yeah,
company in town?
yeah. They got one of the buildings, and he actually points to the building not too far away on the. Let's see, if you're facing away from the gate, it would be on the north side. So it would be on the left side at this point. And he says there's the Wellspring Item Company, the general goods store right next to it. Down at the end of that left side over there, the north side over there, is the Road Inn. You can go there and stay for a couple nights if you want.
The Road Inn.
Yep. And then he points to the other side because he was like, yeah, might as well give you the rest of the tour. And he says there's Orfix's shipyard and repair depot. That's if you have any sort of airship repairs that you're needed. That's where you'll get them. That's Balin's Bank, and then of course you've got shipping and storage, where most of the caravans keep their stuff.
Thank you.
No problem.
Now tell
Welcome
me,
to town.
have you seen any of these monsters with your own eyes?
No, I've been personally just stationed here at the guardhouse. Mostly, I haven't gone into the breach too many times. Every time that I did, it was just some sort of false alarm or
So,
some
excellent.
rough
you
incident.
have been through the fog.
Yes,
What's it like?
it's really foggy.
Is there a ground?
Did you use a rope
For
to get back?
about 100, 150 feet, and then it just drops away into nothing.
Did you use your rope? A rope to get there and back?
No, I mean you can. I look. I don't really recommend it, but you can walk into the breach, into the fog bank. It's
You
not.
must be very brave to have done this.
I am a member of the Arcanum, so. You know.
Do you have anything
Too
valuable on
horn
it?
too much, but I do actually play the horn.
French horn or
Flugelhorn.
It's one of those Australian, just like the didgeridoo. Yeah.
I really want to try it.
But what if they're holding away the honorable people, and really the shadows are honorable?
That might be a good point.
I digress.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention. I was thinking about
didgeridoos?
my didgeridoo. Yeah. And I just realized I hadn't cleaned it since last night.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
That's not.
That's a
So-
didgeridoo.
So,
Exactly.
so what happens if the beacon? How do they keep it going?
We have a rotation of a few. And he pauses for a moment. Give me a persuasion check because he just realized that this is probably more sensitive information than he should be giving out.
What? How many rounds do you have? How far apart are they? Which
What
paths
time
do you
is your
take?
shift change?
So that's going to be 21.
21? There's
I forgive an old blind man or a young blind man.
I was gonna say you don't look that old.
I'm not that old. I'm just
Um,
very tall.
And he said there's a trio of mages that maintain the beacon, kind of just keep it up, keep it working.
That's wonderful that they're willing to do that. What would say happen if they didn't?
The monsters. You
Are
already
you,
told us this.
yeah, I mean,
But have you ever,
Chen-
how
If
do you
you've
know
never
that?
seen them, how do you know that they exist?
not very faithful, are you, sir?
Not usually.
Yeah. Well,
actually.
I mean, I've heard the horror stories. I've seen groups go in and half of them never come out, that sort of thing.
From monsters or just
I mean,
falling off the edge?
they say it's monsters. I'm starting to question a little bit, to be
It
honest.
sounds like a good cover-up for getting shoved over the
You're
side.
making me question all my life choices.
If one
Embarrassing to die by falling off.
if one
of a
beacon
cliff.
fails, the other ones should pick up the load. It kind of just
Oh,
it
that's
kind of
good to
just
know.
acts as like a driving force to push away anything that might want to come in.
I just wanted to know, because it seemed like it was kind of a. But if there's a failsafe, it makes me feel safer.
Seems like your
Have
friend
you-
is taking quite of a long time to come back, right?
Have you
Yeah,
ever?
it's a little odd. He might have gotten caught up. Like, technically, the barracks is how you get through to the champion, so he may have gotten caught up talking to a friend or something.
Talking is a free action, so he's frozen right behind the gate. waiting for us to finish talking.
Are there any like shrines around here for some god? He needs some gods in his life or something.
You see, Ezra doesn't believe in gods. People think he is one.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
look
I
at
mean,
him.
Apparently.
he looks very unique. I mean, again, as a reminder, horn, long blonde hair,
Golden owl.
golden owl on the shoulder, blue
scarf.
and gold scarf across.
the
It's
ascot.
like-
That's right.
And a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
the
and,
god
and,
of fanciness.
and expert
like
is
it.
definitely just like sticking with you, like he's just curiously watching everything. So the other guard comes back, Officer Branderwine, and he says, "Yeah, the champion is eager to meet the next group of daredevils that want to go into the breach. So if you would all follow me."
Great.
Officer Branderwine,
Yes.
has a beacon ever failed in your time in this position?
We've had a few beacons shut down temporarily, and we've had to have extra forces head out there. It doesn't happen too often. It is a pretty high priority up here for the Arcana to make sure that the breach is maintained.
If the beacons went down and something came through the breach and got past you, will the Arcanum hunt it down, or
yes.
do you hire that out
Or
for
to be
other
the Oaken
things? Or,
Shields. Or the
yes, or
the-
do you go to the
Fellowships.
Sorry.
Oh,
Wrong
that
book.
that would definitely fall under Arcana purview. We'd want to make sure that was taken care of swiftly.
It's good to know that you're watching out for us. I mean, it seems like it'd be pretty expensive to keep these things up.
Victor and his flattery.
I mean, it is quite the expense. There's a good chunk of the budget that I guess gets put towards it, but
I'm sure there's lots of jewels and things that power it.
That's why you should pay your taxes, Victor.
That's why we pay our taxes every time. 100%.
right.
Good soup.
You shouldn't pay 100% in taxes, by the way. But
That's
you
not
should-
what
you
they
should
told me
talk
on my
to-
tax
That
forms.
is a terrible tax bracket.
You should really
You
talk to
found
somebody.
like the seediest accountant ever, and they're like, yeah, 100%. Yep, I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
So inside the interior itself, you can see that this 10-foot wall kind of has a few ladders that are set up on the inside. It very much looks like a kind of this sparse barracks area. The courtyard that separates the various buildings of the watchtower, which is the name of the whole barracks, by the way, consists of hard-packed dirt and well-worn training equipment. Target dummies, targets, and a small circular sparring ring take up the bulk of the space, and a small well sits off to one side. On this side of the wall, you can see that the parapet has several ladders to climb up and overhangs about 8 feet, creating a shaded walkway around the exterior of the courtyard as a whole. And as he's walking you in, on the far west is a 2-story building that has a few more guards milling about it. And then you've got a small little, it looks like there's maybe a small little shrine off to the northwest. And then you've got a building to the north, a small building to the south, and then there's this little tiny door that leads up to a staircase leading up into the watchtower itself. But he leads you past the sparring ring, past everything else. You can see that there are Arcanum soldiers on the north and south doors, like another pair of them, heavily armored and watching you as you enter. And he leads you into a barracks. which is just rows of bunks. They keep the middle clean just to make sure that people can get through, because there is a staircase at the other side that leads up. And he says, if you follow the staircase up, the champion's office is at the end of the upstairs hall. And she's expecting you, so just feel free to knock.
And what was her name?
That is, her name is Champion Brightlands.
Brightlands. Thank you very much.
How secured are everybody's bunks?
You're
gonna steal a whole bunk?
The Arcanum is like a military institution, so
it's
they're
very
hard.
clean.
Yeah.
There's nothing sitting out? Okay.
Yeah, there's not very much sitting
Just
out.
trying
You
to
can
gather
see,
intel on the people. Like
yeah,
how,
you can see a couple
like,
that are like playing cards and
they are.
everything. And without like the helmets on, you can see that there's a variety of races. It's not just like, but like when they are wearing their helmets and everything, they look very uniform. There's no, unless they are like a specific race that is shorter or taller than average. Like there is, yeah.
Okay.
But they kind of give you a glance as you're walking by, but they kind of expect to see, people not at the Arcanum heading up to talk to the champion. So you guys can go ahead and head up the stairs.
Okay. I can go.
Yes.
Okay. The upper level of the barracks is set up with 3 separate doors. On the right from the stairs is a door listed with the label for Executive Restroom, and on the left is an unlabeled door.
It's a big pot and
Yes, very fancy. Yeah. And then at the back of the room is a dark wood paneled doorway with an embossed label which says Champion Justine Brightlands on it.
Sarah wants to peek her head in the door of the executive bathroom to see if there's a tub.
Yeah, so there's not a tub in there, but it is a very nice, it's a castle bathroom. It's not just like a pod or a rest or an outhouse, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like, after all that time on that ship.
Should use it.
I think I will. She's gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay, alrighty. The first time in the campaign.
Somebody uses the restroom.
There's an epic die.
The first we.
But it's nice, it's a pleasant experience. You get to wash your hands afterwards in a water basin bowl that kind of
hygiene.
Mm-hmm. It is very nice. And then you step out, and do you guys? Does anybody else wish to use the
restroom?
Nope. I can't poop.
Okay. Enter.
Yeah.
Oh.
You go. You first.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Open
So you open the door.
Behind you.
Door at the back swings open into a spacious office, illuminated by an orb of golden light shining like a small sun that has been set into a recess in the ceiling. The dark oak flooring has been covered by a large red and white rug. A moderate desk rests in the center, one chair with a dwarven woman resting in the back, or behind it, and 2 in front. The west wall has a small door along the north along the northwest, and along the north and south walls are a few items of note. Among them is a burnished suit of half plate, size for a dwarf, and a collection of Arcanum badges that lay evenly spaced on the shelf next to it, each looking battered and displaying the name of the officer they once belonged to. On the other side of the room is a large pillow, upon which rests a regal golden-feathered griffin that eyes you with curiosity as you enter.
So it looks like a remembering the dead type with the
Yeah,
badges?
it definitely looks like a memorial. By the way, I'm assuming that you did not bring Darian in here with you if you summoned him at this point.
No, I would have left him
On the
out
airship?
of here.
Okay. On the
Yeah,
airship or
probably
just
back
outside?
with Kes and Hug.
Okay, sounds good. And the woman is she's got blonde hair, she's got kind of a big windswept kind of freckled face, and she looks up and she looks just like kind of your stocky dwarf. It's kind of done in a long braid in the back, and she says, you're new in town, I guess? You're the ones that Brandywine was talking about?
That we are. I see our reputation precedes us.
The Wayward Watch.
That is indeed what we call ourselves. But my name is Eve.
Nice to meet you, Eve.
This is Seredan, Victor, Ezra, and Bolt.
Very nice to meet you all. What can I do for you?
Well, we need to enter the fog. I'll just be honest with you. We could go about it and do it ourselves without permission, but I think we'd rather have your permission to do so.
Oh, well, I do appreciate the honesty. No.
Okay.
Look, I understand if you have a death wish.
No.
But I'm not going to let some group of adventurers just go into the fog. That's suicide.
Are you a religious person?
I am, and she kind of leans back and touches the symbol for what was his name? Amunitor, god of the sun. And she says, "I am actually blessed by Amunitor."
Well, I am a servant of the trio. Have you heard of them before?
I believe there was some sort of... I'm going Southern with this again. Well, she wasn't going to be Southern. I was going to try and do Scottish, but I believe that there are some sort of nature spirits.
They are indeed. The Talon, the Fang, and the Claw. I know who they are. I'm a devout worshipper.
Claw's gonna get you.
Understandable.
They came to me in a dream and sent me here, and it is their wish that I enter beyond the fog.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
I think it's 17.
I understand the life of devoted fall, and looks like a champion as well of your individual gods. Amunitar himself has given me tasks over the years that denying those tasks is painful to do, but sometimes you just can't. And this is one of those times. I can't stress enough that there is a really good reason why the Arcanum has blocked this place off.
To keep us sheltered and not exploratory, and locking our minds down to keep us from wondering what actually exists out there.
What my friend means to say is, what is it exactly that lies out there that you're protecting us from?
Well, you've all stared at the fog, correct? At the breach. You've felt the pain that it causes you for staring too long. Mm-hmm. There's just more pain out there. Many people go mad spending too much time there. We've had plenty of soldiers of our own, and she waves her hand over to the badges, that they just end up going crazy and have to be retired.
Have you ever seen anything come out of it?
Once or twice. I've been in there several times myself.
Why? Why do you go in?
Expeditions to make sure that things aren't getting too close. Sometimes we go in chasing ruffians. Sometimes there's, some sort of aberration that we have to take care of.
And yet you've maintained your sanity.
Through the grace of the Munisar himself, I'm sure.
Could we perhaps sign up to join you in one of these expeditions to protect the continent?
I mean, if you want to join up with the Arcanum, we're always looking for new, fresh faces. And especially ones that are willing to settle near the breach. That's always welcome.
Do you do any sort of 1099 work on a contract basis?
Contracted workers.
Mercenaries.
Unfortunately,
We do pay our taxes. Victor pays 100% of his income.
Victor pays taxes for all of us.
Under certain circumstances, I am allowed to deputize people temporarily. Unfortunately, I don't see too much of a great need at the moment. Everything has been going fine in the breach. There hasn't been any sort of issues. Probably about a year and a half now.
It'd be a shame if one of those beacons went out.
I think she's...
Just kidding. I didn't say that. Torrey said that.
Oh, we already said that earlier.
Been saying that.
There you go.
Look, there's nobody that gets into the breach without us knowing about it. And I'm telling you this straight up because I want to make sure that you know that if you do go in there, we will be coming after you, and we'll make sure we get you back out before too much
Unless
damage.
we somehow got your approval.
Unless you got my approval.
What can I do to change your mind? This is important to me.
If you'd like, I can run it up the chain, see if the Triumvirate themselves might want to accept an expedition of 5 individuals under a specific banner.
We do have the blessing of the Arcanum. I actually want to show that writ from Lady Crestor. We helped quell the uprising in Seredan not too long ago.
Oh,
Battle of the Bloody Fountain. Perhaps you've heard of it.
That was my blood.
Not much news gets out here. I know we got a new bard in that has been singing stories, but
He has a song about Brander and one about Bloody Fountain. That's the only two he knows. Oh.
I mean, I haven't really been to see her myself. I don't really care much for the inn, care much for the drink, that sort of thing. May I see the badge?
Of course.
And she takes it and looks it over. And she says, as far as it goes, the word of an individual noble house, even one as prominent as one from Terrebonne, doesn't really mean much as far as the Arcanum goes, and they'll back me up on this if they need to, but it helps your case, that's for sure. I can run it up the chain, get a word back in a couple weeks.
Well, good day.
If you're concerned about our well-being,
Just like
we have had some experience with odd phenomena. Even Seredan actually fought off some.
Yes, we helped the Arcanum with a rift.
There's a void rift.
Oh.
A few months ago.
Well, we appreciate your service.
And then we ran into yet another void rift and closed it down.
You wayward watch folks sure do travel, do you?
from the Howitt. Seems we do your job for you.
Forgive our friend.
He means what he says, though.
I like that. I appreciate it.
We've also ran into a couple aberrations and have been able to handle ourselves. So,
like I said, let me see what I can do. Give me a couple days. Maybe I'll go ahead and I'll escalate your issue for you.
Dang neuromancers.
I'll see if maybe I can get a swifter message out there if a couple weeks is too long. I'm not going to give you guys any hope, though.
Okay.
It's one of the most dangerous places, and not very many people get approved for it. And
let them know that as member of the Eight Rings, that I am honor bound to go to this place on behalf of the trio.
Well, they'll have more respect for the actual gods than for the Eight Rings out here, I'm sure. But yeah, I'll go ahead and let them know.
Good day to you.
Now Victor leaves.
Before we go, a quick question.
You too, buddy.
That armor has really caught my eye. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, that's the old family armor. I wore it when I was growing up and training to be a paladin, and once I joined the Arcanum, well, it's now just more sentimental, made by my father. So
it's well crafted.
Thank you.
I'm from Malagoth myself, part of the vanguard there.
Really? The hair did look familiar.
While this conversation is going on and they're talking
Still
about
not
the armor, are all those
face.
badges within eyesight?
Yes.
Can I sleight of hand one of those badges?
Go ahead and
Just
use
to
sleight
act
of
like
hand
I'm
check.
looking at it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like not looking like I'm, but I want to.
Mhm. Yeah. My family is from the high steppes, actually, the tallest peaks of Malagoth.
Really?
Yeah, Clan Brightlance, where it's a pretty nice place up there.
You rolled terrible, didn't you?
That's a 27.
Oh, wow.
You can bomb one.
I do miss it, though. I'm not quite ready to go back. I don't think.
It's been a long time since I've been there too. I've probably been out here about 23 years.
I was sent out by the king to see if I couldn't learn more about the breaking. But our journeys have sort of gotten us away from that recently.
Yeah, that Kraken. It's we've got our best mages on it, so you can rest assured that we'll find out what it is, and if and then maybe you can head on home a little early.
This is nice.
While you're talking, I actually want to move over towards the griffin.
Okay.
And pull out my little bag of bird seed that I have for Callisto and see if I can give some to the griffin.
Give me an animal handling check.
How big was this griffin, did you say?
It's standard size for a griffin, so it's a large creature. So it takes up a good chunk of that wall.
Yeah.
14.
It kind of like cocks its head to the side a little bit, but doesn't take any.
You forgot to bow first.
And
oh wait, that's a hippogriff.
And she looks over and she goes, "Oh, Varys doesn't eat. He's actually a steed blessed by Munotar, or given to me by them.
Please excuse me, I need to use the bathroom, and I'll intentionally stumble my way out the door.
Okay.
And turn right towards the executive bathroom.
No, not that one.
But feel free to stay at the Road Inn. I'll go ahead and send somebody if I hear back. But like I said, don't really get your hopes up. Sorry, folks. I made the trip out here for nothing.
At least we got to see the end of the world. That was worth the trip itself.
It is a really interesting place up here, and it's not a bad place to settle. We're always looking for new settlers.
We'll keep that in mind when our wanderlust gives out.
I understand. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
And she'll just kind of go back to her turn notes, and you guys can leave.
Okay. I want to sleight of hand that armor. Just gonna.
Don't mind me.
Why are you wearing my armor?
She just kind of. I do kind of look at it. I'm like, I wonder if that would fit.
Do you mind if I try it on?
I'm looking for some new half plate. Well,
honor compels me to complete our task, regardless of it being in friction with the law.
Let's have this conversation once we leave the barracks.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming we've walked out.
Yeah, you guys can walk out.
Okay.
Well, let's give it.
Did you stop by the executive bathroom, or did you just leave?
I just left.
Yeah.
I was looking for him.
I was just leaning up against the executive bathroom, like listening, but pretending that I had stormed off, but listening in case she said something stupid. I could come in there and be like, "How dare you!"
And one more thing. Let's give it a few days and see if anything comes from this.
Should we head to?
Waiting around here for a few days.
Well, we could go.
We have to wait
maybe-
till Keskes's ship is ready.
That
As
was
soon as
2
it's ready,
days.
we're
He's
leaving.
got 2 days for that.
Whether we have her permission or not.
We might want
Alright.
to leave a little quicker than we are.
Perhaps under the cover of night it might help, but she did say they had ways to know if we were to go into the fog. I wonder what those are.
Perhaps.
Why are you guys walking so slow? Walk quicker.
What did you do, Victor?
I have nothing of importance.
So you guys exit the barracks at this point, and Brandywine says, "Have a great day."
Thanks, Brandywine. I
You
appreciate
too.
it.
I'm just drunk.
No, never mind.
Let's head over to the inn, maybe get a room.
The road.
The
What?
Road
The Road
Inn.
Inn.
Yep.
Rodin.
A wooden porch and balcony denote the beginning of this 2-story light oak paneled building. Shutters clatter noisily against the sides of the building in the high wind of the plains, and a swaying oak sign proudly pronounces the Road Inn. As you step in, the main floor of the inn is filled with chairs and tables, and the smell of fresh polish. About half of the inn is filled with men and women chatting away. Some wear Arcanum uniforms, while others are dressed in simple clothes. Towards the back wall, a human bard plucks at a harp, sending out a soft hum of music without being overbearing. The south wall is taken up by a staircase that leads to a balcony and a few rooms beyond. And against the north wall lies a long bar. Wait, it wouldn't be the north wall. It would be the east wall has the staircase, the west wall has the bar. My apologies. So along the west wall lies a long bar and an adjoining kitchen where a narrow-faced elven woman with long black hair pulled into a ponytail pours drinks for a couple of waiting customers. A sign above the bar reads, "Please do not use magic." In all, it's a jovial atmosphere.
I want to walk up to the bar and say, "Greetings. 5 travelers looking for rooms. Do you have any vacancy?"
Yes, we always have a vacancy here. Welcome to Border Town. How many rooms do you need?
Well, what's the going rate?
Going rate per night? Just grab that real quick. I believe
For out-of-towners, this
For out-of-towners? No,
Check your out-of-state license plate.
7 silver pieces per night.
7. Does that include dinner? Continental breakfast?
No, unfortunately, food's not included.
Okay.
We do have a full kitchen and one of the most wonderful cooks that Border Town can produce.
It smells delicious.
It is, today it is boar meat stew. Or you can have road rations.
I'll take the stew, but
Is road rations
as far as
like,
rooms,
they pick dead animals up off the road?
It's
Road
just
rash.
a hunk of
Just
cheese and a
regular
loaf of bread, actually. I'm going southern with her again, just because we're in a southern town. But no,
Southern
No,
town,
We're
y'all.
no
she is
western
not.
town.
Yeah, western town.
Have all you in this little town with me?
But it's 5 silver pieces if you want some food. We also have a couple different drinks on tap.
This place seems extra pricey.
it's nice.
Unfortunately,
because it takes
Sort of the only gig in town. It's kind of the Alaska of Anaria, if you will. Price of living, a little high.
And if we told you we were here on official business, flashing the crest or badge thing,
I would not be able to adjust my prices.
Like, who
fair.
is
They're already as
fair.
as low as possible.
Alright.
Can we charge it to
Shall we bunk up?
I mean, you can expense things and get reimbursed for them from Lady.
But you have
That's
to
part
keep
of the
your
fee for
receipt.
this.
I
Yeah,
need
you
the
have to keep
receipts. Can I
receipts.
get this itemized, please?
We can rock up. It's fine.
All right, Sarai and I. Noise. It. Sorry, I don't know. So weird. Can you cut that out? The boys and the it is what I called you. I'm sorry, folks.
Well, first I can't poop, and now I'm an ant.
She's just objectifying you.
I don't know. I'm the bolt.
I'm new to all this, okay?
Oh my word! I'm so sorry.
The boys and bolts.
Boys and bolts.
And the girls.
The boys and bolts. It's like
Boys
a,
and bolts.
like a
Boys and
boysenberry, but boys and bolt.
The boys and bolt. And the girls.
I mean, I wasn't the one who said you couldn't poop. That's your own problem. I said you're not a normal person.
Because
so much better.
Yes,
So now you've been downgraded from not a normal person to just an it.
Just a bit. Your furniture at this point, sir.
I mean, you
Or
do
madam.
have a seatbelt.
I do.
Seatbelt.
Yep. I can be my own chair.
All right, so 2 rooms.
2 rooms. And food for 5.
Food for 5.
And drinks for 5.
4, sorry.
4.
4. Do
Do
we
you
all
don't
want the
I can't.
special today, or do you want just the road rations?
Special.
Boar stew.
Boar stew sounds better than
That's what we're smelling. We're not smelling hardtack.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Thought we were smelling polish.
or that too.
Every time I see
There's
rations, I just want to take a big
also
old bite
this
of the cheese.
And then as far as drinks go, we do have Meadstead. We've got a local brew called Border Shine. And then we also have a couple bottles from...
That's the polish that we're smelling.
It doubles as a polish.
It polishes your insides.
Distilled.
We
mist.
also
Have any
currently
cash
have
forever.
wine from the Overwhite Chateau in Archdom, if you're curious.
And he
You get the wine.
comparable to
I'll get the
Morlaine
local
Chateau.
brew, and we'll
Chateau Morlaine.
we'll share.
I mean, nothing
Local
really
brew.
compares to Chateau Morlaine.
The Chateau de what?
Did you know that we got to
Wow.
judge the brew fest, the brew bash, the brew? Damn it!
The
What's
brew,
bash?
haha.
Brew
bash.
bash.
In Six Hills,
Really?
we did. We got to taste the well,
Chateau
everything,
Morlaine.
and it was amazing.
The everything.
Ainor happens to be
That's
a personal
that's wonderful. And not very many people get to boast that honor, so. Especially up here.
friend. It's true. Ainor is our personal friend.
She was a chef for 20 days on the road or so.
I'm gonna go ahead and just roll okay, all right. She believes you. like she. It wasn't like you guys were bluffing. It's
Yeah.
just that you're telling her a lot of
Really
we're
big
really
stuff, yeah.
important
We're
people.
so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
We are
she's-
so
don't you
annoying.
know who we are?
Name dropping a bunch.
We're
Seriously.
the murder hobos.
Anyway, so for those of you
We deserve better.
who want to calculate it, because you'll need to for your gold, it's a bottle. For a bottle of the Chateau, it's 15 gold pieces. It is for the specially made Border Shine. It's 4 copper for a mug, or 2 silver pieces if you want to buy it in a gallon.
Just buy a gallon.
They come in pints.
And then Meadstead is 5 copper for a mug, and then 3 silver pieces for a gallon.
And what was the wine?
The Overwhite Chateau wine.
That was
15
the 15
gold.
gold.
Yeah.
Didn't you have
maybe,
like a
maybe I'll
pamphlet?
just stick with the local.
Didn't you have a pamphlet
Yeah,
or
that
a
sounds
receipt
good.
or something for free beer?
For me,
Yeah, I have Meadstead.
Because we saved that pig.
And then it's 5 silver pieces for
free
those of
cake,
you getting
yeah.
stew.
Right.
Okay,
And
so-
7 for the room, but we're splitting. So 8
That's
holiday.
actually a good question. Does the voucher, is it just something that I can just like flash and people, pretty much any inn will take it?
You can try.
How much copper for the
They don't
moonshine?
honor that coupon in this.
I'll ask you guys.
It's
I
4
have this,
copper for
I have this voucher from
that
that beer golem
moonshine.
that we repaired.
Because it is
Would you
moonshine.
guys like a keg of?
It's worth a shot.
Why not?
Yeah. So I'll show it to the innkeeper and be like, "Do you accept these?"
Oh, yeah, of course. Meadstead, you always accept the coupons. And she kind of slides it into a specific place. And
Coupons for beer. A new low.
This is real top shelf stuff.
yeah, from your guys' talk, I thought you were a bit more, well off. But I guess a coupon works.
We don't
too.
say no to Keystone Light.
And she says,
That's
Jakaris, please bring out a full keg of Meadstead. And a few moments later, the kitchen door opens up and a Goliath man comes out and he's got this keg on his shoulder. And he sets it down and he says, "There you go."
We can make fast friends with the locals if we share.
So, what's the news in Watertown? Any monsters flying out of the fog lately?
How many people are around?
Does that even happen?
There's probably
I don't
about a
know
half
how to
dozen
leave
or
it.
so, including the bard at the back. Most of them are Arcanum. You see one that's kind of just like sitting in the corner, just like watching.
He's gonna stab
the
me
elf.
like 7 times.
Not watching you, he's watching the elf
okay.
specifically.
PTSD.
Drinks for everyone on the Wayward Watch.
All right, yeah, a small cheer goes up.
And we'll tap the keg.
I'm sorry. There's only beer here for people who are excited. I mean, come on.
There's a little bit more excitement.
hear you.
The worst hype man ever.
The elven woman will start pulling out some mugs so that you can start pouring and everything.
I want to go to the bard and ask and see.
Pardon me, miss. Do you take any requests?
I always take requests.
Have you heard of the Battle of the Bloody Fountain?
Let me see actually if she has. Afraid not.
Damn it.
I can give you a good battle story if you'd like, though.
Something that, and see if you can work it. I'll give you a gold piece if you can work in the Wayward Watch somehow.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
And she starts plucking on the harp again, and starts into a naval battle song. And you some of the Arcanum start clapping their mugs down onto the table and singing along and everything. Except for when she gets to the chorus and everybody's about to shout Captain Fangtooth. She goes, "The Wayward Watch," and then everyone's like, "The Wayward Watch," and then she gives you a very overt wink and continues on. To answer your question, no monsters have been coming out of the fog recently. There have been rumors that people have been going in and out, though.
I thought that was not
That's
prohibited. I thought that was
highly illegal.
prohibited.
Oh, it's very much prohibited.
The guards are up in arms over something.
The braying of hounds. And they're just rumors
Mr. Burns released the hounds.
at this point, but there have been rumors that there have been ships that have been making it past.
The bounty
that-
hunters.
That would be exciting to see. Where are they trying to run the gap, as it were?
Like I said, they're just rumors at this point. I'm not entirely sure.
Rumors that a gold piece could
I mean,
purchase?
I appreciate the attempt, but I really don't have any other information for you. I
Is there
apologize.
anyone?
Take their head.
Tell us where the
In the middle of an Arcanum town.
We would die.
In here that looks out of place.
Yeah. So the bard herself probably is a little bit out of place, just because she looks like she's been traveling for a while. And then that gentleman in the corner that is just staring at
The assassin.
at the woman at the bar,
Sometimes
the
Lana.
elder woman at the bar.
Perhaps he knows.
Perhaps. What can you tell us about the shady-looking character over here who seems to have eyes for you?
Name is Zeth.
Should we buy him a drink and send him on his way?
We call him straight.
Well, no, Seredan is harmless. He's just He's just here to try to get me to head away from Bordertown. They send somebody every couple of years or so.
Sarah.
Is he
Nelikoth, it's the closest Massifist community.
I grew up in a Massifist community
Oh,
myself.
did you? You don't look like the type that would usually grow up there. You seem to have that kind of air about you.
Well, I loved it there, but I had to leave because I started displaying magic abilities.
Oh, one of those communities.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know that they can be pretty harsh when you do start showing abilities.
Wait, I thought all Massifist communities were the same.
No, we've got several communities that kind of have different locations. Most of them obviously secret. We don't want word getting out of where they are. I haven't been part of the community, though I still think it's best to leave magic to outside use, away from anything to do with the home, that sort of thing.
Outsiders don't seem to understand our beliefs,
Is
their beliefs.
that why there's a sign?
Yes, yeah. It's just we appreciate if you don't use any sort of magic here, just because. And no offense to you, my friend. We don't try to discriminate against constructs or those that have a more magical nature. And she looks between you and the very clear unicorn man,
Who has hero wind all the time on his hair.
but we do ask that you keep it as close to a minimum as possible.
So he's from your village then? He's trying to persuade you to come home? No.
He's from another Massifist village. My village is gone.
Oh. What happened?
Magic happened, really. But, I mean...
The infinite sight.
No, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm just connecting dots around that.
No, I grew up in Brayvel.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
I didn't think Brayville truly existed.
They like to tell the story, do they?
My father told it to me many nights as I always thought it was a bit of a ghost story.
Yeah, I wish. But, no, it happened.
You managed to escape.
Yeah, I was one of the lucky few. There was a schoolhouse of us children, and the mistress of the school was able to sneak us out during the chaos.
I'm so sorry.
I've not heard this story. What happened?
Oh, and at this point, Jakaris comes back out, and he's got a plate, and he just hands everybody a bowl of stew. And he looks at you and he says, "Is there anything I can get you?"
I'm good, thank you very much.
All right. And he heads back into the kitchen. If you don't mind, if you do want to tell the story, if you could find a seat. I'm sorry, I can't hear the story.
Oh, I understand. Absolutely. We'll go and sit at a table.
Enjoy your meal.
Thank you.
What was her name again? Sorry, I missed that.
Nobody asked her name.
Oh, okay.
I was
Yep.
just thinking I missed it.
That was just Victor calling her what's under his breath.
Okay.
Do a slide of breath.
She glanced in your direction, but didn't say anything.
Just feeling spicy.
Yeah, I can tell.
Champion, bright lights.
She dismissed my station.
Yeah.
Brayville was a Massifist community. And again, I didn't think it really existed. My father used to tell me this story when I was a child. And
To
we
scare
learned
you
it
away from magic.
Well, a bit. We learned it in school as well, and I always thought it was just to teach us a moral. But the community of Brayvel was a wonderful community, and full of very kind and intelligent people. They had healers who learned how to care for their sick without the use of magic, by utilizing the plants and wildlife around them. They had great inventors. In fact, they were close to finding a way to propel a boat without the use of sails or oars. And very loving people. But there was a woman in the community, and every day she would leave her home with a notebook under her arm, and she would head into the woods nearby. And she loved to explore and learn about the animals and plant life around her. And every day she would come back home to her family. She had 2 small children. And she would cook them dinner as they told her about their day. And eventually her husband would come home. He was a very prominent member of the society and a great architect. It seemed their life was quite perfect. But of course, there's no such thing as a perfect life. One day she left to explore the woods as she always did, and some of her town's friends saw her do this. And her curiosity was not looked down upon, I should note. Quite the opposite. It was encouraged to explore. But in the afternoon, she never returned. And by the evening, they had formed a search party to go looking for her. All of her friends in the town and her family, they began searching for her. Day after day they searched, but after 3 days they could not find her. And the search party disbanded, but her husband and her brother and her father, they continued to look, because they couldn't give up hope that she was still alive. Perhaps it would have been better if they had given up hope, because then they would not have found her. We're not sure who found her first. Some say it was her brother, or it could have been all 3 of them at the same time. But when they saw her, she was covered in chains. Black, thick chains with spikes upon them. And at the end of the chains were these horrible hooks that were dragging in the ground and the earth. And looking at the chains, it was clear that they were magic of some sort. Her brother, not knowing what to do, he ran to her to try and free her from these chains, and that was the first mistake. For when he reached her, the chains began to impale him and rend him limb from limb. And the blood was spilling out of him and upon her, and the chains and the hooks lifted him up into the air. He was still alive. His moaning and crying as the blood dripped down onto her. And her father and husband looked from afar, and she turned to them, and she was smiling. And they began to run. And if they had been wise, they would not have run toward the village. But in their panic, they ran straight back to Brey Vale, where everyone was. And she followed after them, these chains and hooks dragging behind her, ripping the bark from the trees. And she finally caught up to her father, and again the chains and hooks destroyed him. The blood was upon her again. But finally her husband made it back to the town, and just in time to warn everyone, but it truly was too late. For as they began to flee to their homes and some came to fight her, she entered the clearing, and the chains, clearly with a mind of their own, began to attack all of the townspeople. But before they did, they heard an eerie chorus harmony of voices. And Eve looks to Sari for a moment, like realizing for the first time the coincidence,
maybe?
Yeah.
You can also turn cracking into a chain now.
And one of the ladies in your thing had all those chains.
Yeah, it was,
What was her name?
I will tell you.
Victor will slowly
If
stand
you
up,
give me a moment.
have her walk over to the bar and say,
I'm really sorry for what I said.
The woman's gone.
Oh, she's gone?
Yeah.
No, Sarai.
So at
No,
some
Sarai.
point during the story, which she couldn't help but hear,
Yeah.
hearing,
Okay.
she had left.
Anyhow, the chains with these horrible hooks, it was like they were endless, and there were enough to kill all the people. not quite kill them, for their bodies were still alive. They were weeping and wailing above this chorus of sound. And from there, the woman destroyed the entire city. She ripped the houses from their foundations with these chains. There were a few that managed to escape, and I can only imagine this barkeep was one of them. But 2 of them were the woman's children. And it was about 12 in total that managed to escape. And that's how we know of this tale. Again, I thought it was fabricated. My father always told it to me, I assumed as a warning of the dangers against using magic. But also, he warned me of the dangers of openness and welcoming strangers into your home. For you never know who you can trust.
It's quite a tale to tell to children.
I'm not scared. I'm
not scared either.
Perhaps explains a bit about me.
We're all sharing home tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What was this woman's name? Do you know?
I never knew in the stories.
They always refer to her as the Butcher of Brayville.
Oh yes, the Butcher of Brayville.
You said the barkeep's gone.
Okay. Yes.
How do you spell Brayville?
It is Brey, and then veil, like a veil. Like,
guess right.
Eve wants to
Seredan.
Thank you. Sarah.
Eve. By the way, after you finish your story, the bard switches back to a normal song, but she was clearly like adding ambiance,
ambiance
to the
music.
Like she was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like and you can see like she's mumbling in her head, like, "I need to remember this story."
Yeah,
it's a good one.
You drew attention pretty much from everybody in the bar.
Yeah, Sarah wants to kind of internally just like check in with Craggy and be like, Craggy, I don't suppose you've heard this story before?
Give me a religion check.
That's
increase my
chains are gonna go whipping everywhere.
And we're gonna destroy the whole town.
Oh no.
That's a 19.
You just get the feeling that this is something that you need to talk with Craggy about later.
When?
They don't respond.
You're in bed with the enemy.
For the record, Cory sent this to me while we were in Nashville, and I wanted to talk to you about it so bad. But
I resisted.
I appreciate you resisting.
Peace to love and resistance.
Yep. By the way, the stew is getting cold, but it's still kind of
Yeah,
tasty.
I was sitting there with like a spoonful like this for the last 5 minutes.
I've
just like,
lost my appetite a bit too.
then she'll start eating though. I'll eat it.
Eat like
It's
the
delicious.
what's the steward from Gondor.
just don't imagine the bodies.
Yeah.
Rend limb from limb.
That elf in the corner, or that guy in the corner that was watching.
He's going full John Noble on his
he
food.
is going full John Noble on his food. Yeah.
Is the guy in the corner still there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry.
I think we ought to talk to him.
By the way, before we do anything, I thought I might need to tell you this. I might have brought something with me. If we want to ask around, maybe pretend to be Arcanum. But don't tell
Vicky,
anybody.
is that honorable?
Absolutely. She whispers my honor, so I had to get back at her somehow.
I mean,
It's within my bounds.
Revenge is honorable.
It is the law of honor. One dishonor
yes.
can only be corrected with another dishonor.
The Klingon sense of honor.
Yeah.
Well, I might leave that to you. I don't know if I want to get on the Arcanum's bad side, to be honest with
Been
you.
on that. It's not a good side to be on.
It would be a shame if we were, random inspectors for the Arcanum, shut off the portal thing. Had some fun.
I just don't want the monsters to kill these people, because then we'll be the butchers of Border Town.
Blaviken.
She said
that the guy in the corner was not from her town.
No,
was from another
He's from another Massifist community.
community.
Her town no longer exists.
Was he listening to the story? Was he close enough? To
Yeah,
hear?
everybody in the bar went eerily silent
Okay.
as Eve started telling her tale. except for the punctuated, like, eerie harp music that the bard
Okay.
is doing.
I want to walk over to the guy in the corner and just be like, so our friendly barkeep tells us that you were also from a Massifist community. Is that true? Have you heard this story before?
He looks you up and down. And he says, yes, I am from a Massifist community. And yes, I have heard the story before.
I don't suppose you know the name of the woman who became the butcher.
No idea who the woman is.
Hmm.
Nobody really knows.
I'm curious to know more about her. I'm Seredan, by the way. Seredan Fallowshield from the Malagoth Mountains. These are my companions, the Wayward Watch. Well met.
Well met.
You are?
I'm Yin Saren Fallmane.
Say it again.
Yin Saren Fallmane.
Yin Saren. Yin Saren. What brings you to Bordertown, Yin Saren?
I'm here trying to convince Madame Torrey to come home.
Madam what now?
Torrey. Torrey. Just make sure that is the name here.
You're going to have to spell it for me because
T-
I hear different words than what you speak.
Tarelia. Torrelia.
Would there be like a common greeting among Massifists?
Secret handshake.
Technically, it is your community, so
I think there would be.
yeah. What would it be?
I don't know what it is. Maybe something that they say. Help me out, guys.
It's a secret handshake
Come
where
up
the
with some
kids
clever.
put their hand through the fly of their pants and shake each other.
I'm just imagining Michael's.
Yeah.
The wind blows strong through
The unmagical
barley.
trees.
I was thinking like the wind is long or something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Day
It's unspoken. You
is
like
long.
touch your nose and your chin.
I like
and
the wind
Night
is long.
brings darkness.
So Eve will come up and say, "The wind is long."
And it is also short. It is nice to see someone else from a community. Where are you from?
I'm from Rowan.
Rowan. Wow, we don't get many people from Rowan wandering about. What takes you outside the village?
Well, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. But I had to leave.
Oh,
I began to display some magical qualities.
and his mood immediately like shifts, and he just kind of goes, "Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry that you were kicked out."
I am as well. But it was my choice to leave. But I didn't feel I had any other choice. I mean, I suppose if you choose death, then yes.
Right. If you'll excuse me, and he stands up rather quickly and gives you all a nod, and then wanders off.
Sorry,
Love
guys.
is not conditional. I say as he walks away.
I'm gonna tail him.
Maybe we ought to
Go
follow
ahead. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
The one thing I'm good at. So that's a 24.
Yeah, he just goes up the stairs up to his room. Just goes into one of the rooms and closes the
You
door.
found it. You squeeze in the door behind him and go hide in the corner.
Man, need to find the little boy's room.
Okay.
I'll follow him up to, and I just basically want to, if he goes in a room, I want to just kind of listen and see if he's.
Yeah, so he closes
Talking
the
to
door.
someone.
You can hear the clear lock engaging, and he just kind of, and you can hear him like sit down in a chair, and every now and then you just hear like scribbling of notes, turning of pages, that sort of thing.
I'll just stand and listen for a while.
He's writing in his masochist journal.
Masochist.
Masochist.
He's got one for each. He's got
Two journals.
A masochist journal and a masochist journal. Yeah.
I'll and I guess after a while, if he doesn't do anything, I'll rap on the door.
Okay. So it'll be about an hour.
service?
Like, how long are you waiting? Like an hour or so? You
Just,
know?
I mean, if there's nothing interesting, I'll probably lose patience after about 30 minutes.
Okay. So, yeah, after about 30 minutes, does anybody want to do anything in
Well,
the
I
meantime?
just wanted to wait for the barkeep to come
Yeah.
back. I wanted to talk to her some
Okay.
I was gonna say, we should look into trying to find someone who knows how to slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll start asking discreetly to non-Arcanum people.
Okay. There's a few different other, like, the general goods store that you could try, that sort of thing. Most people here, like, according to what the officer said, are at least related to the Arcanum in some way. So you're not really sure. But go ahead and give me, I guess, an insight or an investigation check.
A seedy underbelly check.
Yeah, they don't have a streetwise anymore.
Investigation to find it.
10.
A 10?
Or insight? 12.
So you can't really, like, pick out any person that seems like they're not Arcanum. You can try blindly if you'd like, but you're not guaranteed to find somebody that
Why don't you just approach even an Arcanum? We could say, so I've been hearing rumors that people have been slipping through the cracks. Is that true? What are you doing to prevent it?
Know that they'll really give up that information. I'll try. Why not? I'll look for Officer Brander Wine.
Okay. Yeah, actually, so after about, like, he's got his guard post duty, and you can walk up to him again if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
walk up and be like,
okay.
Seems like a lonely night shift. Care for the company?
Sure. I mean, I've always got my partner for company, but another one's not anything more.
Don't have much else to do in this town, I suppose.
Yeah. Except for a drink at the bar, which you came from, right?
Drink's not that good.
Yeah.
Company's
Unfortunately,
not that great either.
the shine that they have here is pretty tasteless, or well, it's got too much taste sometimes. It depends on how he still distills it. How's the bard though? I heard
Pretty
she's
good.
yeah.
Good stories. Some naval battle. Apparently the Wayward Watch won. I didn't either.
Oh, right. Well, cool. I'm excited to see it. Like, we don't get a lot of entertainers in town, so
Sure.
it's nice when one gets to stay here for a couple weeks and kind of regale us with songs and stories.
Sure. Stories to tell for until next time, at least.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of stories, I've heard that some people are slipping through into the fog. Seems like a problem that the Arcanum might not want to admit, but maybe would like to see go away.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Inspiration.
Yeah, I'm going to use my inspiration. That's better, 13.
13. We can't confirm any rumors of particular individuals that have slipped between the watchtowers recently.
If you tell me which watchtowers, I can keep an eye out for an old friend.
Well, I always hear that the closer you are to danger, the further you are from harm. And as far as people trying to get across the border town's probably the most dangerous place. So, but north is still kind of dangerous, if you know my meaning.
Sure, I'll keep an eye out for problems.
But you didn't hear anything from me, of course.
Of course not. Okay. I'll just kind of hang out with them and not leave suspiciously right after you give me that information.
Yeah. Yeah, like they'll go ahead and talk, and they'll ask about like different things, different places that you've been. They seem very curious for like information for the outside world.
Yeah, I'll just fill them with like all the stories that we've every
like,
stop we made. Just basically,
you're essentially like the first
thing.
visitor to Castle Black, right?
Yeah.
So after about a half an hour, Victor gives a knock on the door, and a few moments later, Mr. Fallmane opens up the door and goes, "Oh, it's you. How can I assist you?"
Yes. My apologies. I seem to have perhaps gone to the wrong room. I might have had too much to drink.
Well, perhaps you should find one of your friends to help you. And he starts to close the door.
Oh, yes. Speaking of my friends, they are very important to me, and I would hate for anything to happen to my friends. Please understand that Eve is very important to me, and if anything should happen to her, I will come for you first.
Go ahead and give me an intimidation check. Good, sir.
That's a 19 plus something.
Plus what?
Intimidation is just a +2. I'm not very important.
21.
21.
I definitely would not wish any harm upon your friends, and I never saw anyone named Eve from Rowan in my journeys here.
Perfect. We will get along just fine.
Yeah, have a pleasant evening. He tries to close the door again.
You two, I'll let him close the door, and then I'll just take one of my knives and just slide it slowly down this, like, to make a scratching sound down the, not to mar the wood, but just like, and then I'll walk away back downstairs.
Creepy. What town was he from?
I believe, let me grab
And it was Yin Saren.
no problem.
He's on my list.
I wrote down Yin Saren from Nellicroft, but
Yin Saren, Nelikoth, Nelikoth.
Okay.
So Victor comes down, and around that same time, the elven woman comes back to the bar. You can see, like, her eyes are red. She's been crying and everything. And she just kind of gets back to work.
Okay.
The bard does wave you down, like, I think there was a promised payment that
Oh,
we
yes,
had
absolutely.
discussed.
Here, it was wonderful. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I always appreciate a good tip.
It's we need a good publicist. So
Tell me, that gentleman with the golden hair, is he single?
He is quite single. If you'd like, I can arrange a meeting.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm somewhat of a matchmaker.
This is the first match he's ever made.
Payback for malicious.
it's actually great.
Yes.
You know, I'm
That was Colby.
You are an accomplice.
I just let it happen. I just didn't say no.
I
That's the
got
name of the
drunk
episode.
in one
I
of them,
just didn't
and
say no.
he had an old lady convinced that I wrote a love letter to her, and she crawled into bed with me while I was sleeping. I woke up the next day.
As you do when you're old and lonely.
Excuse me, though. Then she sent you an awesome gift.
She did.
Giant Slayer bow.
She left you with her widower's
Anyways, sorry.
armor. It's like, don't die,
I
come
had to
back
provide
to me.
context to that of
you.
what I was talking about.
So I wanna go back up to the bar.
Okay.
Say, Eve, come with me.
Okay.
How was the stew?
Delicious. Thank you. Were you the chef, or do you have someone?
Oh, no. Jakaris cooks all the food. I'm terrible at it.
Well, our compliments.
I'll let him know. Is there anything else that I can get you? Looks like the keg is getting a little light, and she taps it.
It is, but I don't know that we're going to be out too much later tonight. We've got a lot to do tomorrow. I'm so sorry about what happened to your town. That was the most tragic story I'd ever heard, and
Thank you.
we didn't mean to be a source of pain for you tonight.
It's just something that I have to deal with every day, and some days it's harder than others. And I don't mean any, like, there's no ill will or anger towards you for telling the story. And I understand that it's it's intense.
Do you mind if I ask? Because I think I might know something about this woman.
Might know something.
I might. Do you know what her name was before
Oh
the
my
incident?
gosh. She had a locket, didn't she? That's what she was getting, and it had a picture of her kids
Yeah,
in
because
it.
she was saying she was looking for her kids.
Sorry.
Light bulb.
There's and she tries to collect herself. Her name was Kathoni.
Kathoni.
Yeah.
Did she have a surname?
It was Nosarai.
Sorry for the horrible story that happened to you. Ding, 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 ding.
And
Let me just hide this.
I'm like, oh, it's not who I thought it was then.
Sorry, this is what killed everyone.
Were you close with her?
She was my mother.
You murderer!
No, she was already dead when we met.
Yeah.
And besides, we didn't.
Yeah, no, Craggy did. Somebody in Craggy.
Wait. Sorry, time out. Let me make sure that I'm remembering things right. So
She was in the chains.
Had a heart on it. I
that's
wasn't even
right.
there and
That's
I know
right.
what it
That's
was.
right. That's right. That's right.
And
So
She wasn't in the chains. She was in the room with the chains.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and
we
we
found her, and she was like, "I'm
different
looking for my
chains.
daughter."
she's
or something
not
like that.
one that we had a fight with.
Yeah.
No,
And
she
in
was
the
like
locket,
a prisoner of
yeah.
the Craggy or something. It seemed like maybe
She
not a prisoner.
she was
Ex,
She was a former wielder.
You want to
That's
cause
what it
some
was.
real damage? Have Craggy turn into that locket and show it to her.
or the chains.
Or the chain.
do
I don't
not do
think
that.
Victor's the spicy one today. I think it's Preston.
Yeah.
Preston's like,
I'm
I don't want
something.
things to go sideways.
I want everything to go sideways.
Actually, sorry, I do need to give you a dice for spice.
Nice for spice.
She
Thank you.
was your mother. And was it a brother that you had?
Yeah, I still have.
Is he in town?
No, we separated after the incident. He's living. I think he's living in. Well, and she points at where where Mr. Fallmane was staying. I think he's living in Ilkoth.
Perhaps he's part of the reason why this fellow is continually here trying to convince you to come home.
Probably. He sends somebody every couple months trying to convince me.
Why not join him? What's keeping you in Bordertown?
Honestly, I just want to be as far away from that situation as possible.
I understand.
It was not a pleasant situation, and I don't want to be associated with that life anymore.
Well, it's quite a lovely establishment you've set up for yourself here.
Thank you. I do pretty well for myself, being the only inn in town.
I don't think we ever learned your first name.
Oh, Torrey.
Torelli.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
First
You
name,
did
madam.
say that. I thought I had an F in here.
Yeah, so
Torrey.
her last name is Nosarai.
Torelli and oh my gosh.
Dude, that's intense.
I'm so sorry for telling that story, Torellia. I feel terrible about it.
I completely understand. Curiosity gets the better of everybody eventually. And I should have removed myself from this situation before anything happened. It's definitely not something that I like to hear. Unfortunately, elven ears don't get worse with age.
Nor do they age quickly.
How many... Forgive me for asking, but how many years ago did this happen?
It was about 230 years ago that I left. That it happened.
I wonder if she was the last wielder of Craggy before you found out.
No, that was a bard.
It was a bard.
What's his name?
Wrong.
That would be cool.
Anyway,
Malik.
Malaga. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Malik the Melodious.
Yep.
Yeah. Sounds like you
Okay.
have to do some talking to Craggy.
Well,
Jeez,
Sarah's going to
it's brutal.
take a gamble here. She says, I hesitate to do this, but
But hey,
I was
everybody.
trying
But
to
your
clear
voice.
the notification.
I told you
clicked
that I told you that I might know something of this woman.
If you do know something, please keep it to yourself. I've had wounds opened up too many times to really want to have that happen again. I just want to forget the whole situation. I appreciate any closure that you're trying to provide if you have any information, but honestly, it wouldn't help. What happened was a tragedy, and I don't know if anything could ever help me get over it.
What if I told you that I met her and that she still loves you and thinks of you fondly?
You're a little young to have met my mother.
Did she ever talk to you about the Will of the Crags?
No, I never heard anything about that.
There is a being known as the Choir of the Crags. They are something of a demigod. And I believe that your mother was a wielder of this in her time. It manifests itself as an artifact and chooses people.
So it chose my mother to butcher her family.
I can't say who was to blame, if it was your mother or if it was an outside influence. That much I don't know. But I am the current keeper of this manifestation, and as such, I had a chance to interact with her a few months ago.
Chains hit the floor. Roll for Constitution save. Wisdom.
Or like roll initiative.
Wisdom save.
Why tell me this?
Because I want you to know that when I met her, the only thing that she could think about or talk about was you and your brother. She called you her heart. And we were trying to help her find an image of you that she keeps, that she had misplaced.
A locket.
A locket.
And she kind of like wipes some tears from her eyes and she says, You're gonna make me leave my bar twice in one night. I'm sorry. Like, I appreciate what you're saying. And if that's true, then perhaps there was something more malicious than even I thought. I just thought she fell in with some magic that she wasn't supposed to. But I really can't hear anymore.
I understand, and I'm sorry. I myself am trying to understand what it is that I've found, and, well, they're not always very forthcoming.
Yeah, I wish you the best of luck in your travels, but if you excuse me.
Of course.
And she, again, like, she goes and she opens up the kitchen door and she says, Jakaris, would you run the bar for me for the rest of the night? And he's like, yeah, sure, of course. And he comes out and she just kind of gives you a nod and then just walks away.
Perhaps I said
take your dice and feel bad about yourself. Or feel good about yourself. Okay.
Well, guess we all gotta fight Sari. Let's go.
So we'll go ahead and skip forward to the evening. I'm guessing that you guys aren't really going to stay up too late. The bard winds down.
I'll teach the bard a couple of things that Ezra prefers, as far as like.
Oh yeah, she fully like send him to this in room.
Make sure you.
You guys are in the room that I'm in.
It's really sensitive.
What are we supposed to do? I guess I'll put a sock on the door and you go find someone else.
Like she gives you her room key. Like,
Ezra.
Yeah.
I have something for you, and no, I didn't steal it. You stole it. It's her heart. The bard has the hearts for you.
Okay. I rolled a natural one, so I'm going. It was really bored.
Hey, there's no, you have no indication that this is a bad thing. She could be a perfectly lovely,
but like
consenting adult.
She stabs you.
You're gonna get assassinated.
We'll see.
Stabs you 7 times.
It's basically just a one night stand.
Right.
If you're into it.
Yeah.
If Ezra's into it, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ezra's into it. Yeah.
We won't roleplay any of it, I promise.
It fades to black and the door closes. And there's a song.
You wrap the ascot around the
door. The door now has. Well, I might want that. I need good luck. It's a good luck charm. The ascot stays on
until the owl don't keep watch.
Yeah. Expert doesn't come with you.
Good. Wow.
She's like, no.
Well, let's
keep the owl. Let him watch.
All right, well, let's check in with you a little bit. What have you been doing?
Sitting awkwardly, apparently, just kind of people watching. I wanted to talk to the bartender or the innkeeper before Seredan ruined her for the next 100 years.
Traumatized her.
Yeah, it took her 238 years to get to this point.
Yeah,
it's gonna take.
But now she knows that her mom still loves her.
Yes.
That makes her feel better.
The mom that destroyed the town. Yeah.
And tried to kill
your serial killer mother.
Maybe I'll go up to Jakar.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Goliath.
Oh yeah, Jakaris.
Yeah, and ask him. I was wondering if, in the past few weeks, if you've come across or seen a trio of individuals pass through town. And I'm going to give them the description. There's a woman dressed in all leathers, black horned helmet, and a wooden and metal right arm.
Yeah, you don't really forget a person.
Basically,
like that.
and the giant crocodile guy, and and then a gnome, right?
Yeah, that trio sounds really familiar, actually.
Can you tell me anything about them? Did you notice anything strange? Do you know where they came from?
They were very closed off. Came into town to repair their airship and grab some supplies, and then they just left. They had a big crew with them, about like a dozen or so people. Maybe 2 airships, I want to say. They left back north, but didn't really...
What did the airships look like? Do you know?
They actually looked really close to the Arcanum ones, just kind of that standard skiff that you see floating around, you know? And again, it's almost like a ship's hull with like kind of like a glass underbelly at portions, and it's got a couple fins in the back that basically catch the wind, as it were. And standard power,
Did they, you said they were only here for a short time. Did they stay in town, or did they stay on their ships?
Honestly, they stayed for about an hour.
Oh.
Grabbed a bite to eat, went to the supply depot, the storage depot, got some stuff. I noticed because I was at the general store grabbing a few goods, and they came in, and they were pretty rude, to be honest. Stepped right in front of me and started talking to the store owner, but yeah, they didn't stay too long. They didn't really talk to anybody. The Arcanum kind of eyed them a little bit, but people pass through every now and then.
Well, I appreciate your information. And you said the general store, right?
Yeah, just next door here.
Okay, I might go over there and see if I can.
I think it's closing up soon, but
maybe tomorrow.
You might be able to make it if you're fast. Durad kind of likes to keep weird hours.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. And I'll actually I'll leave my gold. Give it to my gold.
Thanks. Appreciate the tip. Have a wonderful evening.
And you as well. So, Durad.
Yes. Durskan, if you want to know his last name. Durskan.
So I will go ahead and go see if the general store is open.
Yeah, it's still open. It's later in the evening, but it looks like he might be wrapping up. You see a what is he? He's a green-skinned dragonborn, kind of like brushing some of the dust out, kind of thing. He's missing a couple fingers on his left hand, and he says, we're just about to close, but if there's something you need, I'd be happy to provide."
Yes, actually, I'm looking for some information about a couple individuals that passed through here a few weeks ago.
All right. What specific individuals?
A woman with a black horn helm. Her right arm was metal and wood, and a large crocodile.
Just a big crocodile.
Yeah, a big crocodile, man.
I know who you're talking about. They were interesting customers. They just wanted some general supplies. They said they were on an expedition of sorts. They seemed to be eyeing the breach like they were trying to head in there. You know how it is with some crazy adventurers getting an idea in their head that they can survive out there, that kind of thing.
And you didn't, by chance, did they buy anything odd or unique? Or ask for anything unique that you perhaps didn't have?
They were looking for, like, tinker's items, if we had any. I told them to go to the airship depot for those kind of things. Like a lot of, like capacitors, whatever they're called, that sort of
flux
thing.
Flux capacitors.
Yes, absolutely. They looked like they were trying to. They were asking about like distillery stuff too. Actually, now that I remember it, they were maybe making some moonshine or something. I directed them towards the towards my daughter's part of the business, the storage company. They might have something there for him, but as far as I remember, they didn't really get what they were looking for, and they had to just head out with what they had.
Did you, by chance, notice when they came into town? From which direction? Did they mention where they were from?
Let me think about that. I don't really remember which direction they came from. I know that after they left, they were headed for the Ungolian marshlands, though.
And that is actually where we encountered them as well.
Oh. Hopefully it wasn't too much trouble, was it?
Not for one of them.
By the way, I wanted to ask, after defeating Hazakesh, and after everything was over, did you collect the tags? The Fallow Shield necklace tags?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So go ahead and add like 15 Fallow Shield brass sigils to your inventory.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, no, it was not a very pleasant meeting.
They seemed like they were the rough and tumble kind.
They did end up attacking us.
Well, you're here. I'm sure they aren't.
Yes.
Yeah, they did seem a little shady. They were looking for kind of on the down low. Didn't really want to have the Arcanum know they were even in town. I mean, obviously that's really hard to do. But
yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. And if you think of anything or hear anything from your daughter, you said?
Yeah.
If you hear anything, I would appreciate you letting me know. I'll be staying next door at the inn.
Of course, yeah. I'll let you know.
My name is Bolt, by the way.
Oh, nice to meet you, Bolt. Durad.
Just for your time. Another gold.
Yeah. He'll just pocket it and say, is there any actual, like, goods that you need, or is it just information?
So does the general store just sell your generic, like...
Yep.
Generic and tools and things like that?
Tools, rations, that sort of thing.
No healing potions or anything like that?
No, that'd be the Wellspring Item Company next door.
No, but if we do run into something, we'll be back.
Yeah, of course.
Have a pleasant evening.
You too.
And I'll go ahead and leave. And since it's getting late, I'm not gonna like go to his daughter's place or anything like that. And I don't really feel like going there is gonna get any information other than like they came in and asked for it and didn't have it. So okay, all right.
Okay,
I'll head back to the inn and probably just head up to the room.
Okay. Find Victor in there. And yeah, you guys can all have a wonderful evening.
Adjacent to that other guys.
Yasin. No, it's a couple down from that. Okay. Yeah. In fact, your room is probably closer to that one.
Okay. Yeah, Eve is definitely gonna sleep like.
Sorry.
How is Eve gonna sleep?
Sari is putting like Craggy like in the far corner.
Oh yeah.
Like in timeout. And like sleeping
It's
like as far away from possible.
It's the
as
Annabelle
far away
doll.
as possible.
It's in the corner of the room.
It transforms itself into that.
It's a Dybbuk box.
You just wake up and it's just a coil of chain. You're like,
Creepy. Ew.
You hear the cries of all the victims all night long.
I mean, I will say, Seredan probably does have nightmares. This is a horrible revelation that she has to go through. So yeah. So it's not going to be a good night's sleep. That's for sure.
Up in the dark. Good thing you took a pally level to balance this out.
Yeah, but where's the paladin power coming from? I thought it was coming from the crags. It's just the shadow and the light.
Hey, not all the paladins are good.
Yeah. Ghostbreaker.
Anyway.
All right, so it's about 3 in the morning or so, pretty late in the morning, when all of you are awoken to the sound of shrieks and cries of terror, sounds of battle being joined outside.
I just wake like from one, like it's just a
One
continuous
nightmare
like
to reality.
screaming, and I wake up and it's like, am I still dreaming? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, definitely
Ezra,
that moment.
quiet down.
I don't wail like dying
Definitely. Sorry, that deserves another die.
that deserves a negative death.
But yeah, there is the sounds of fighting and panic going on outside.
Yeah, grab our weapons and
Okay.
run downstairs.
I will say none of you are wearing armor at this point except for Bolt.
Gondor calls
So
Seredan.
you guys will be you guys can spend the 5 minutes it takes to don the armor, but I bet you're.
I just want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Rush out. So you all rush outside, and you see a sight that you see things that you've seen before, but you didn't expect them out here. Dropping from the sky are these creatures with spindly legs, kind of long, hardened carapaces, and they look like they just like drop down from the sky and they just start consuming whatever's nearby, and they start like eating wood. They're on spindly legs. These are aberrant gatherers. You've experienced them back in the Hollowbend Sanctum, and as you watch, like one of them like finishes eating a whole a whole trough of water. The water just spilling out, and then it kind of, as it fills up, you can see it kind of just bloat, and it starts floating up into the air and back towards the breach. And another one lands down, and it like sights a woman that's trying to run, and it opens its mouth, and a spine of bone juts into her ankle and knocks her down, and a couple others start like rushing for rushing for the woman and everything. So
Yeah, I want to cast my spell.
Okay.
My, Song of the Unseen.
okay, sounds good.
I want to run up and try to break the spine so that the woman...
Okay. So as you start running up, you're casting your spell. I'm assuming the rest of you are drawing weapons.
Yeah.
Don't want to make assumptions here. But let's go ahead and roll initiative and get into some combat.
No armor.
Sans
No armor. Yep.
So
None of you are wearing
armor.
armor except for bolts.
What about
Am I
like
blind?
cloak of protection? Could I have just like spun that on real
yes,
fast?
Okay.
The cloak of protection can still be on. It's
Do I
just,
have my shield?
That's my pajamas.
yeah, that
Okay.
would be easy to. Basically, anything that's really easy to don would be fine.
Okay.
Technically, without your armor, wouldn't. Well, you'd have to spend an hour to switch for Darian's armor to be like your armor. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was back on with Cascas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's
too.
still on the airship. So. Okay. So we'll go ahead and set up the battle map, and we'll be right back.
My poor AC.
All right, let's go ahead and reveal the battle cam and see what we've got going for us.
Battle cam.
Okay. As you can see, you guys are on one side of the walkway. In the distance, you can see the Arcanum fighting against more of these things. So they're not inactive during this fight. It's just I don't want to deal with them.
They're doing
Sure.
something else.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, combat is quick. So you guys are
If you
in
need to,
a-
we can just do this temporarily.
So you've got a few different civilians that are trying to escape. In fact, I need to get them in initiative.
I think we should probably just join the other side and start killing civilians.
Oh, I didn't boy, that is
You're really dark today.
yeah, we're going super dark today.
Might be our excuse. We'll go hop in the airship and chase them all back into the rift.
But let's go ahead and grab
Airship.
initiatives first, shall we?
yeah.
Starting with Ezra.
21.
21. Victor.
8.
8. Seredan.
15.
Eve.
16.
16.
And actually, I'm thinking because of Darian's collar.
Mm-hmm. So it takes an hour to switch.
Yes, I
Who
know,
the
but
receiver is.
he if he gets within like 100 feet away from me, then he just like pops back up by me, right? I swear that was part of it.
It wasn't part of the collar. That was kind of just something that we talked about, like with the mount. Like technically,
Oh,
there is
okay.
no range.
With the mount.
Yeah, it was. It's that's more of a fun canon thing that we've been talking about. Like
Okay.
because it's a reminiscent of like video games where suddenly your
okay.
pet or your mount is by your side kind of thing.
So we just talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I was just wondering how close he would be. If he could.
He is probably about. I'd probably say he's about 400 feet away at this point.
Okay. His
So-
movement speed is 50. So-
He probably can feel your panic, and he will start heading towards you.
Okay.
And he can move. You said he can move 50.
Well, if he's
So we
If
could
he's
dash.
running,
Dashing.
dash.
Yeah.
Should be there in
100.
4 turns.
So he'll
4
be
turns.
here in 4 rounds.
Do we have any enlarged
He'll show up in
potions?
4 rounds.
Imagine
So make
him
sure-
stomping through the town.
Go ahead.
That'd be bad news.
Darien round count. And we'll just start at 1. So, and then Bolt, what was your initiative? 3.
Terrible.
Okay.
Bolt.
That's what I rolled.
What gives, man?
I have 5 to my initiative.
And actually, we do want to have Bolt move up to. You did say you were.
Yeah, I wanted
intercepting.
to. Whichever one was like had the bone spike.
Yeah, that would be the one that is sitting prone.
Prone.
Yep. So we'll have you move up next to her. Yep. Okay. All right. So the first to go is actually the red one. You could just leave it there. It's fine.
Yeah.
And who is the closest?
There's a civilian 2 away, 10 away.
Okay.
Or Eve or Ezra.
And then it is going for the civilian. So it's going to move up to the civilian and make a couple of attacks. And that's a hit and a hit. And that's enough damage to kill a civilian.
Sam.
No.
So it just like jumps on to this gentleman running, and it just like bites into his neck and brings him down and just starts like consuming the flesh, like pulling it into its mouth. And that is its turn. Ezra, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the red one, not just eat that guy.
Okay.
With sharpshooter. So that will be a 13 to hit.
13 does not hit. It bounces right off of the armor.
I'll use my bonus action and make it hit the purple one instead.
Okay.
Well, roll to see if it's the purple one. Wait, is that how that
Trick
works?
shot.
Hold on. I've
Yeah.
only used this like once. I think I have to roll to see if that's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
is that? E. I'll just roll it. I think that's what it is. So that would be a. Does sharpshooter apply to the?
I'm going to say that you can't apply sharpshooter
Okay.
to the bonus
So
action.
then that would be 24 to hit
24 will hit, and that was
Yeah.
which
Purple.
the purple, and that is going to be 15 damage.
15 damage. Okay. It
Then
lets
I'll
out a
do-
shriek as you like slam into its one of its plates.
And I'll do my second shot at red with sharpshooter. 14.
14 will miss.
Dang it.
Again, that kind of skitters across it.
And I think the curving arrow can only do when you make an attack roll with a magic arrow and miss. You can use a bonus action. I've already used the bonus action.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's my turn.
Okay. It is like eyeing you now that you've like slammed 2 arrows into its hide without any sort of effect. It's carapace rather. So it is looking at you. Eve, it is your turn.
Eve will cast Bless at the 2nd level.
Okay.
So that's for Ezra, Victor, Seredan, and myself.
Okay.
Because we're
One thing that because I was looking at paladins, you can also technically cast it on Darien when
nice.
he's nearby.
That's
So
really good to know.
just so you know for the future reference, whenever you cast any sort of spell that affects you as a target, you can make it affect your mount as well.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So you kind of raise your sword up and call upon the trio. You can hear like the wind whistling. Oh, by the way, Ixburn is with you, Ezra.
Oh.
But we'll find out what he does next round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Okay. And then it
Excited to
is
see what he does.
Is there anything else that you'd like to do?
No.
No. Not going to move up to anything or anything like that.
I don't have armor on. I'm feared, and I want to stay by my people so they can have part of
Okay.
help with
Your
my
aura.
auras.
Okay. Sounds good.
By the way, I'm wearing very silky bathrobe.
Oh yeah.
And all my chest is out.
It's the bard lady.
Is it your bathrobe?
No,
or
it's
it's the bard's.
It's the bard's.
It's a little too small.
It's a little kimono.
Yeah, it's showing a lot of thigh.
Yikes.
A lot of green thigh.
It's perfect.
If you have hairy thighs, does it have hero wind?
Yes.
The
Your body hair's not blonde too, is it now?
the
I don't know how that
Light
works.
Gatherer is looking at Bolt directly, right?
He is right.
Yeah, he's looking. He's the only one I can see. He's looking directly at Bolt. So let's go ahead and just toss a couple spikes out. What is the range? How far away is it?
15 bullet is 20.
20?
20.
Perfect. That is perfect.
Instant kill.
So this is a
They're not butterflies. So.
7,
Remember those butterflies? These
Miss.
were.
and then a 23.
That hits.
Okay. So go ahead and take 4 piercing damage, one of the spikes. jams between a couple of your plates.
Ouch.
Yep. And then it will move up to you.
Okay.
Oh, are you within 5 feet of one of its allies?
No.
No.
Okay. No.
No, you are. Which we'll get to later. Seredan.
Okay. Sarah's gonna move up to purple. 5, 10, 15. Just so that I'm 10 feet away and make an attack on purple.
Which you get with advantage this time.
That's right.
They don't
Tremor
have
sense me damn! Okay, that's a 28 to hit.
28 will hit.
For
Supersonic.
13 damage.
13.
And then she'll make a second attack for more.
Okay.
That's 6 damage.
All right.
No, never mind. And then butt action is going to be 25
25 will hit.
for 7 damage.
Okay. Craggy responds just as it always does when you wield it as a glaive, and you slice through this thing with a couple quick strikes, and then you just bring the butt down right into the skull, and it just collapses.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to step back 1 here so that I'm within range of Eve's aura. But this thing is 15 feet away from me.
Okay.
What does your aura do again?
2.
It adds to your saving throws if you're within 10
Plus
feet.
4.
And gives resistance to magic.
Yep. Just spelled it.
Plus 4 to saving throws?
Yeah, if you're
Solid.
within 10 feet.
I am.
Wait, what is the resistance that it gives? This is
Um,
the first I'm hearing about
This
it.
is
damage from spells.
Oh, wow.
Resistance to damage from spells.
Very
All
nice.
spell damage.
Very nice.
Nice.
That's the Oath of
The Ancients.
Ancients.
It's called the Aura of Warding.
Level 7 aura.
Very cool.
Solid.
All right. Next up is Gray, which I believe is won by.
Here.
Yep.
Yep.
2 away from Bolt.
Yeah, you know what? Bolt looks like a target rather than this.
So it has to. It would have to go
Bolt's a person.
around
Or a body.
Bolt is
around
an
a person here,
Not
or
Not a normal person.
normal person.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give it a dexterity check to see if it can actually balance on that barrel. Yeah, he crits on that. So he just kind of pushes the barrel to the side and gets up next to you, and he's going to try and stab you a couple times. And they do have pack tactics.
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 Oh no.
So that is a 20.
That hits.
Okay.
Ouch.
On the first hit here. And that's 6 piercing damage. And the second one is a 21.
That hits. Yeah.
For another 5 piercing damage. And basically it's like these things are like swarming towards you now as you like step over the woman to defend her. Doing your job, sir. Okay, next up is Blue. Is Blue the other one by Bolt, or is Blue?
It's right over here.
Okay.
There's a civilian. There's
Yep,
a
let's go for the
Victor.
civilian. That sounds fun. Sounds fun for me. And that's a crit. Yeah, that one like latches on and just drags her down again. Just starts.
Kirby's her.
Yep.
We are the Wayward Watch, not the Protectorate or something. I don't know.
And then it does have a second attack, so we'll just do a spawn. Actually, can they do a multi-attack? Nope, it's one or the other. Okay, never mind. He's just gonna spend the rest of his turn eating. Noms. Victor, it's your turn.
Alright, I'm going to attack the white one next to. I'm gonna do it ranged.
You're into range.
You're actually going to get sneak attack damage. I'm so excited for
Sneak,
you.
sneak attack, and yeah. So I'm gonna throw that. This is gonna be using Shadow Song, or not Shadow Song, with Cinderhearth.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Natural 20 with sneak attack.
With sneak
Beautiful.
attack, so that's gonna be 8. 15 is max, plus rolled is without this plus 7.
5 more.
It's gonna be 5 more. Okay. And then I need to roll my
20.
So plus 13, so
33.
33 plus what's the
46, 24.
24? So plus
57 damage.
57 damage.
57 damage.
Beautiful.
And if it doesn't die, then I'll activate the flame on it. And
You just come down right with Cinder Hearth and just like, it's like opening up a lobster. Full on, that carapace is open and you just see like the entire innards in there.
Don't worry, Bolt, I have your back.
and then I'll step up
the
behind you
claws.
and take a defensive. Just
Nice.
And then it is Green's turn. What is Green's closest enemy?
Bolt. 10.
Okay.
Feet away.
More attacks on Bolt. Looks like the one
Range?
with the armor gets
Range?
to take. No, he's going to move up to you.
Okay.
Tactics.
Yep. With tactics.
Do you get a +1 since you've got
Add that
a civilian?
Add that 2.
But the civilians,
for my bonus.
are they not an ally?
If Cory says yes, then yeah.
They're not technically a conscious ally, so.
So my bonus action,
She was still awake. She's just screaming because she has a spike in her.
for my bonus action, I still have my blindfold attached, and
Okay.
when I step up behind you, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on Bolt.
Okay.
Gives me what, +2?
+2.
Nice.
So the first attack
Do
is
you
a
need
13.
do you need concentration?
Yes, it's concentration.
Yeah, so it was a 13 and an 18 to hit.
Miss
Bolt.
both of them.
Yep. Okay. And then it's the civilians' turn.
Which one?
All of them. They're all gonna run.
Not dead yet.
Except for the one that's prone on the ground.
Yeah.
Two can run what? 30 feet.
30 feet.
60
Get inside the
dash.
building or
Yeah,
something?
get inside the building.
Yeah, okay.
The last two remaining.
And there's one prone.
Yeah, the one prone, she can't move. She's into the ground. So.
She's impaled.
And then it's Bolt at the bottom of the round.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Your revenge.
go ahead and crack Gray on the head.
Okay. Give him a good thump. Yep.
24.
24 will hit.
So that is 11.
Okay. 11 damage. As you just kind of backhand one of these and send it kind of like reeling, that kind of thunderous reverberation ringing out.
Next attack's 26.
26 will hit. And is still on Gray.
Yes. For another 8.
Another 8. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Good solid couple hits.
Mm-hmm.
And then it is the everybody win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For some reason I'm feeling like I missed somebody. Then it's the top of the next round, so round
Sorry, I'll use my bonus action to give myself
temps.
6 temps, and everyone within 20 feet of me that's an ally gets 6 as well.
Victor. Too far away.
I'm gonna use the
Victor
and the lady.
The lady gets I basically extend a
Now
little
she's
bit.
an ally.
Just kidding. She is an unconscious ally. I am not saying that she's conscious. Yeah.
The shield doesn't care. It's still next to me.
I care. So this is round 2 for Darian, so 2 more rounds and he'll be here. Then Red gets to go
15 away from Seredan.
Yep, that's what we're gonna go for. Gonna run up to you and try to attack.
Oh, yeah, reaction. Take an attack.
Okay.
I wish I had. Nope. That's a 28 to hit.
28 will hit.
Let's curse that. Crit. That's 14 damage.
14. Okay. All right. So first attack is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. And that is.
You know what? I'm gonna cast the shield spell,
Okay.
and it'll miss.
Okay. That'll
Wait,
miss.
isn't that a reaction? And you just use your reaction?
Thank you. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Gosh,
I have a hard time. No, I'm glad that you said that. I have a hard time keeping track of my reactions, obviously.
That's an epic dice for being in the DM's favor, I suppose.
Yes.
Okay. So
epic
that
dice, I
first one
hate
was
her.
4 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then you need to roll me a concentration.
How dare you? Sorry, I'm a traitor.
And the second attack is a 13 to hit.
That will barely hit.
Okay.
Shoot.
Oh wait, no, are they rolling with disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. But you are not wearing armor.
that's true.
And then 5 damage for the second one.
Made the first concentration. Made the second concentration.
Okay, sounds good. Yep, so this one, despite you kind of like weeding in and out of existence as far as like memory goes, it still manages to like sink its claw or
Yeah.
its hook claws into a little bit and shred some flesh.
Okay.
And then Ezra.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the red one with sharpshooter.
Okay.
Okay, that's a little better. So let's do 17 to hit.
17 will miss. The skitters off the armor again.
Okay, I'll bonus action send it over to green.
How far away do they have to be? Or how far away?
I think it's 20 feet. Let me just double check. 60 feet. So
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I spent epic trying to do that. So so that'll be a 18 to hit,
18 will hit.
and that's
Zoinks,
gonna
we
be
found its armor class.
for 14 damage.
14.
And then
Okay.
I'll try and shoot red again.
Yeah, this is like the impossible target.
Yeah, for some reason with sharpshooter again because I want to kill it. Do it. How about 17?
17 will miss. Yeah.
Dang it!
Yeah, this thing
You
is
don't have
just
any more
like,
epic dice, do you?
No. Shoot. Okay.
Any inspiration?
That's my turn. I'll just
Can't use it.
Yeah, I already used it.
Eve.
Thank goodness for a curving shot.
Eve will move up to red
Red.
and attack with me longsword.
Long sword.
That will hit 17 plus 6.
Yeah.
Sure. Nice. 4.
4 damage. Okay.
Second attack will not hit.
Don't forget you have bless in case that would help.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have. 8 plus, what's your 6? That'd be
6,
14.
yeah.
Yep. Might get you to
Plus-
8.
Might
Unless
get you
you wanted
to
to
eight, you
use
roll
it.
4.
Well,
If you
so
roll
roll that
4.
d4 first. See if it's worth it.
Yeah. 2.
2.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Alrighty.
Well, that puts you at 16. You have an epic
Okay,
die?
let's try. Plus 5.
That'll hit.
Yay! We got there.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh, one.
Another 4.
Oh.
4 damage. At least you're like getting in between the little
Hey,
terrible
you can hit
threats.
it. You just can't hurt it.
I know. It's like a pin.
Stupid red one. Why are you so strong?
Down.
Time to improve his stats a little bit. Like
Oh, no.
he is now like
He's rallied.
He leveled
Yeah.
up.
He's
Yep,
now
Middle of the fight.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
pumped. He's like, nobody can touch me.
He's now like a
That's
He's the boss.
right, like
His
a
mini
nemesis
Yeah.
zergling.
This,
like,
this game does
Shadow-
have a nemesis.
Shadow
system.
of Mortar, yeah.
Yep.
System.
alrighty.
Great
And then it is Seredan's turn.
Okay. Sarah is going to take some swings at red.
Come on.
Kill him.
Crit him.
Kill him.
That's geez, that's not great. 19, barely.
19 will hit. Yes.
For 7 damage,
Okay.
and then much higher for 9 damage,
9. Okay.
and then butt action. Oh man, 19.
19 will hit.
Some low rolls, but barely. Good thing I had less.
Yeah.
With the butt, 6 damage.
That's enough.
Yay!
Alright, you go ahead and deliver some quick slices and finally take out the nemesis before he can get to his final form.
And then,
Gadget.
okay, so she's gonna
Nope,
just move.
that's
that's
wrong.
Eve.
That's Eve.
Well, I call myself Eve, so I might as well be trying
Even
to
on the
control her
board.
as well.
I'm dead. So
that's-
funny.
Jeez, just right there. That's all.
If you move 1 forward, you're in range.
I know, but I don't want to be. I
Yeah,
want it
because
to
I want to enter range.
hopefully move
Oh, I
up
see.
to me.
Yeah. It's a reaction.
Grey goes next. And that is next to Bolt, I assume.
Oh, right.
Is there 2 next to Bolt or just the one?
Yes. We're both
I
nice.
don't want her.
Gray and green.
17 to hit
Miss.
and a 23 to hit.
One over.
Ouch. Take 9 piercing damage.
I'm just imagining
Ezra, I'm sorry.
In the robe.
Yeah, you're
With
all
the
in
unicorn.
pajamas.
Horn, the Fabio hair.
Yeah.
Ascot's still on.
That's
It
why
always
it's
stays
such
on.
a
You're
good
trying to
look.
make a shot, and the wind keeps blowing, so you gotta stop.
This pink kimono.
Yeah, it's definitely pink.
I just kind of like
Thigh
the image
length.
that, like all of them are just scrambling.
The back is a
right
big,
now.
giant purple butterfly and sparkles.
Trying to swat him away from
I love
Blade.
it.
Yes. This
Here
is
in the
canon.
wind.
All right, all the artists out there, draw it.
Hello.
Make it happen.
Put it on our Discord.
Yeah.
Fan art channel.
Okay, and then Blue goes next.
Blue is 20 feet away from Bolt, 25 from Victor, and 40 from anyone else.
Let's go ahead and have him. You know what? Let's have him rush Victor. That sounds like more fun.
No.
Now, is Victor
Here?
next to 2 or is only 1?
No, just one.
Okay.
You want him right behind Bolt, or do you want it right behind?
Yeah, we'll put him right behind Bolt. Between 2 of you. These things are swarmers, so. Oh, that was 2 attacks. One of them is a critical fail. The other one is a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So 5 piercing damage for that.
And I'll use my evade to have it.
Yeah, this one just kind of like dives from the walkway at you and just like slams into your shoulder. But then it kind of like falls onto its back and has to like correct itself for its second attack. And then it is your turn. Sure.
Okay, Cinderheart's on the ground. I'm going to like do that fancy stomp on the ground, get it flip in the air, and then I'm going to turn around and smack it towards the one that just smacked at me.
Okay. Kick it right at Blue.
Yep. And let's see. It's not so great. Let's say 14 plus
Four.
bless. 4.
16 will miss.
I'll add that dice.
There you go.
20.
That'll hit.
And I am going to activate the burn on this one as well, so the 2d10.
Okay.
In addition to the 8. That's with he's within the.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
can
get
sneak
sneak
attack.
on this one.
That's 8, 18 plus the 2d10. So 18. It's 18, so 20,
Nice.
36. 36 damage.
36. Yeah, you like shear through like its entire side, and it there's like flicks of flame coming up off of it, and it's kind of just like stumbling around a little bit, but it's still alive.
Is Yin Saren running around anywhere?
No, he is not.
I was hoping he's watching, and then I'd look at him and go,
Through your thing, you just look at him.
Yep. he'd know.
I mean, he's probably
He'd
watching
know.
from the window.
I'd turn my head towards the window quickly.
Like you can't tell if he's there or not. 'cause
No.
obviously,
I'll just look at his
like
window,
he's
whether he's
outside
there
of
or
your
not.
blind
Just
side.
in case.
Yeah, but just in case he's there, like he knows.
You just hear this.
And then after. Okay. Then it is green. And that one's by, I'm assuming, Bolt as well.
By Bolt, but it could also be by.
You'd have to move if it wanted to go
Yeah,
left.
but it wouldn't go out of your
No.
space.
Yeah, let's move 1 forward and attack Victor again.
Okay, opportunity attack.
Uh-huh.
Oh, because left your foot there.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's 13 plus 8, 21.
21 will hit.
Or, jeez, bad damage rolls tonight. 7.
Yeah, let's have a little shriek as you like hit its tail. But yeah, still good. So it's going to attack Victor here with a 15.
That's kind of cool.
Victor,
15 hits.
15 hits for 5 damage.
Take the damage. And it's not a new round, right?
No, and then 21
Yeah, wait,
will
wait.
hit,
Yeah, 21 hit. You said how much damage? Was
5.
5.
and then another 5 for the other
Slow
attack.
right now.
So 10 damage total. Yep. And again, like they just see a little bit of a squishier target and start attacking you.
Dance of death begins.
Civilians are good. Actually, I probably should roll death saving throws for that one.
Oh no.
For getting hit in the ankle.
She's bleeding out.
She's
I
a
know.
commoner.
I know.
She has 1 hit point.
She has 1 save and 1 failure.
think they have, 10 HP? Is there?
Yes, not even that. Yeah. All right, and then Bolt.
All right, I'm gonna go
Punch
ahead
the commoner.
and just put her out of her misery. This is a mercy kill. I'm gonna go ahead and attack. I'm gonna attack green. That is an 18.
18 will hit.
Nice. Okay, and that is 11 damage.
11.
And it has disadvantage on anything other than me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make my second attack be on blue. Way higher.
Okay.
17 plus 8, 25.
That'll hit.
For 12 damage.
So you just kind of like bring your fist around, smash into gray, and then it just comes
Green.
full force.
Green, blue.
Yeah, and then slams into blue and just like crunches the front part of it.
So blue is dead.
Blue is dead.
Nice.
I believe.
Squish.
It's the sound of a lobster when you.
The sound of pounding paws is getting closer. Darian is only one round away.
We can hear his ear flapping.
Just in
Yep.
time for us to kill everything.
Ezra.
I'm gonna just shoot the green one.
Okay.
Sharpshooter, come
Don't worry, Sasha, I got him for you.
on. That's gonna be a 23 to hit.
23 will hit.
Finally. That's gonna be 23 damage.
On which one? Sorry?
Green.
Green? Yeah, spears right through it and just kind of impales it into the ground.
I don't know that I really can see gray, so I'll move on the barrel, and then I should be able to get a better line of sight.
Okay.
Shoot that one. Sharpshooter. So that natural 20.
Nice.
Okay, so this is gonna be 60. That's 30.
The sharpshooter doesn't get doubled because it's not.
No.
No, I
It's
only
just
did that
flat.
once.
Yeah.
So
Because
hold on. So
it's
16
not a damage
14 is 30 plus 13. 43.
Ezra, in all his glory, jumps up onto this crate and just takes out both of the remaining.
Robe flapping in the wind.
Yep.
Stop flapping, please. No more flapping.
All I can do is flap.
All right. Yeah. So that is all of them.
No.
Can I do a
Phone
medicine
knock
check
all over
on the
again.
lady? Try to stabilize her.
Yeah. Go
Run
ahead.
around on a furry thong.
That's a natural.
You kill her.
Yeah.
Let me check on you.
Like you do like pull the spike out before realizing like what that does.
I'll go give her a.
So that's a death saving.
I'll-
That's a failure.
I'll go give her just one lay on hands point.
Okay.
Just stop
All
the
right.
bleeding.
She's good.
Let me help
yeah.
you.
That's all she needs.
Yep. She lets out a gasp as she's still bleeding, but it's not as severe as it was before. So
Okay.
yeah. So you
Say,
guys,
oh, you're all right. Get to the end, quick.
sure. Jesus,
do it. You can do
hobbling
it.
on one leg.
You can do it. Slap her butt as she hobbles off.
Go team.
I hand her the chunk of spike to use as a cane as she walks by.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. She'll use that.
Good luck, bitches.
Darian comes running up
quite
and
the name for
slams into
ourselves
you,
here.
and just like starts like sniffing you, like making sure that you're okay.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
We forgot to do anything with Ixburn this time.
Oh.
Well.
He flutters by majestically.
He's just watching.
Silently.
If you took the help action,
You might-
I would have
you might
got
have.
a
That
bunch
is
of
so.
crits.
I'll go ahead and say right now that for the time being, Ixburn will be a familiar for you.
Nice.
So
I can have him take the help action. Solid.
Yeah. Are there like any other civilians that are down? Does the Arcanum seem to have things under control? Are they still fighting?
So it seems like the Arcanum is getting things under control. You can see more of the gatherers kind of bloating up and flying away, as it were.
Shoot one with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you can slam into it.
My
Yeah,
range.
I'll be blasting like fireballs as they fly by.
Yeah, as you guys like start
120
running
feet.
up. Yeah, you can start firing off your ranged attacks and everything, bringing a few of them down. You come around up to the watchtower, and you can see just a mass of these gatherers all over the place, and you see a few that are far larger than the gatherers that you've seen before. Kind of thicker, almost spider-like abdomens on them, or they've got like you see a couple that are specifically they look very hornet-like. And in fact, like one of these larger ones slams down in front of you, and it's probably about maybe a bit smaller than Darien, but not by much. And it starts menacing towards you. You can see acid dripping, and then all of a sudden there's this battle cry, and this warhammer slams into it as the champion comes down, and she just cracks right through the carapace. And she just kind of wipes a little bit of blood, and she goes, "Oh, you're all up."
Kind of hard to sleep.
Your eyes lingered a little bit. I saw them linger.
Well, it's an unusual sight. That's
Still flapping in the wind.
Yes.
Stop flapping.
This heroine is such a
She looks
pain.
behind you and she says, "That all you're doing?"
It is.
Like I mentioned earlier, we do your job for you.
These are actually the creatures that the smaller ones we ran into previously.
Really? You've seen these things before?
Yes.
Are you going to be pursuing them? Do you need help?
Some of us need to get dressed, but we'd be happy to help.
And she kind of sits there a moment and kind of closes her eyes, and then you hear her mumbling something as she returns whatever message just came into her brain, and she goes, "It sounds like we're routing them and they're heading back into the mist. They've never been able to breach before. I'm not exactly sure what happened."
I look at the lighthouse. Is it shut off?
No, it's still on. It's still active. And she says, "You know what? I guess fate is on our side here." All right. Congratulations. You're now deputies for the Arcanum.
All right.
Booyah!
By whatever power that the Arcanum decided to give me, and of course a Minotaur, I want you into the fog, and I want you finding out what's going on and stopping it if you can.
Gladly. Honesty is always the best policy, I want to point out.
If you don't mind,
A contract.
I have a quill.
And she grabs the quill and she dips it in some of this weird goop and writes it down. It's almost acidic, so it etches it in. Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
Do our
what were
job.
the terms?
I don't know, I can't read it.
It said, do their job. Signed, her.
It was a paper that said we are deputies. Have the right to do what we
All
want.
right.
We'll be able to leave tomorrow evening.
Perfect, as soon as you can. If you need anything, we're happy to provide and
Bump
get you what
the
you need.
greatest treasure to the top of the list, and we can leave as soon as we can.
Yes. That's their ship that we're in.
The rickety one.
Mm-hmm. It's very
Unless you
reliable.
want to give us
Alright.
one of your ships, I don't have any love for that hunk of junk.
The hunk of junk will be fine. And she says, "Yeah, I'll go ahead and make sure that we can get that repaired as quickly as possible. You can leave on the morning."
If you put a cannon on the front or something cool.
Gatling gun.
a magical railgun attached to the bottom of it.
And she leans forward and she says, "So you've all heard the stories about the Broken Expanse, right?
Not
What
a lot.
stories
That
do we need to know?
that it's more than just a sudden drop off. That there are islands out there.
yes.
Well, obviously, it's a horribly kept secret. That's actually true. But with the Arcanum, we do ask that you keep whatever you see out there to yourselves.
You don't want to report after?
I want to report, but I don't want you blabbing to anybody else. If we start hearing rumors that you're spreading more information, then that could lead to problems down the line. Understood?
No,
Yes.
Constitution.
Perfect. All right. Good luck to you all, and try not to die. That's kind of a given, I suppose.
Yes, ma'am.
Does she notice the pin on my shirt?
Do you have that pin out there?
It's not hidden in your pocket or something.
And she will march up to you, and she will grab the pin and just rip it off of you. And she says, "Don't dishonor the dead, boy."
We honor the dead by living.
And she's just gonna march off like adventurers.
Victor
And put some clothes on.
is very.
Spicy boy.
You've been a
Hey.
troublemaker today.
All right. Well, it sounds like you have a clear go-ahead to go into the Broken Expanse.
Yes.
The greatest treasure will be ready by morning. everyone can take a long rest. It might be the last one you get for a little while. Who knows? But I think that's a good place to end.
Yeah.
Death is the longest.
Thank you,
rest.
everyone, for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's episode. I know I did. Join our Discord. Take a look at the Reddit. Like, comment, subscribe. And let's see, what should we comment today?
What do you want to see?
Yeah,
Ezra wearing next.
Yes. A pompadour.
If anyone wants to draw fan art of it,
Yes, I would love to see
we're awaiting it.
Unicorn Ezra fan art.
Unicorn, Ezra, purple bathrobe.
Yeah.
Or pink bathrobe, purple butterfly.
Try to minimize the flapping, or just at least keep it suitable for work.
Keep it PG. Somewhere between PG-13 and I.
PG-13.
Butt flaps are
Censor bars are acceptable.
Yes. But until next time, have a wonderful evening and happy holidays at this point.
See you guys.
Bye. Time has no meaning in
Time
here.
is no meaning. Yeah. Welcome to the Red Room.
Oh.